where you can listen from any device. Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports is powered by the official voice of Rams Athletics, Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Rams Baseball is also sponsored in part by the Medicine Shop of Mount Vernon, Ford Square and King City Chrysler. You can count on us. Red Lake College. Save thousands on your college education. Log on to rlc.edu. State Farm Insurance Agent Tony Wilt. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Second Chance Auto on Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a Hospital. Raising the Bar. Winning Edge. Schmidt Ford of Salem. And also by the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois. Landers Collision Centers of Mount Vernon and Salem. Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon. All Stars and Stitches. Central Christian Church. And People's National Bank.
Play ball!
It's time to join Chris Hugo and Danny Zerwinski for Mount Vernon Rams Baseball. From the Ford Square WMIX Sports Mobile Studios, the Landers Collision Center's pregame show starts now.
And good afternoon from Bethalto. Today the Mount Vernon Rams on the road against the Civic Memorial Eagles. It'll mark the first of back-to-back games against the Mississippi Valley Conference. Rams got a big win in their home opener yesterday over the Pinckneyville Panthers, 8-3. Of course, I'm Chris Hugo. Danny Zerwinski on assignment today. Mount Vernon Rams looking to get back above 500. They actually have not lost 2 straight games to open the season. They prevented that yesterday, again against Pinckneyville. This is your Landers Collision Center's pregame show. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Call 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS. Rams warming up right now. Of course, they'll be the visitors on the scoreboard today. We'll also have a national anthem coming up for you here from Bethalto. Also, your Page Insurance starting lines will come your way here momentarily. We'll meet the Mount Vernon Rams batting order. We'll also get to know the Rams defensively as well as the Civic Memorial Eagles. For the Eagles, of course, they're opening up their season today. They will actually head Monday to Sun, actually the welcome Sun. We're going to Central on Tuesday. They'll finish up the week with a doubleheader against Halton here at home on Saturday. So a busy week coming up, of course, for Civic Memorial. The Rams, of course, already in their third game. Hoping to get 4 more games, and next week make it 5 as we'll have Waterloo and Triad on back-to-back days. They will also have Decatur St. Teresa come in on Friday. They'll travel to Mattoon next Saturday. All that's coming up. Of course, we have plenty more to talk about here on your Landers Collision Center's pregame show. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Call 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS. Landers Collision Centers in Mount Vernon and Salem. Proud to bring you this pregame show. We need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more about this one. The Mount Vernon Rams. We'll talk about the Rams pitching staff and their successes to this point. This is Rams Baseball powered by Community First Bank.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. By now you have heard about our new One Checking product. The new One Account is a high-interest earning, free checking account designed for everyone. Unlike other banks that pay interest on higher balance, this account pays interest on all balances. From high schoolers to Warren Buffett, One will work for you. You can talk to one of us at 244-3000 and learn about the details. One, exclusively at Community First Bank. You will be one happy customer. Member FDIC.
Are you interested in a career in the culinary arts but can never afford the high cost of cooking school? Ren Lake College has a low-cost recipe for success. For as little as $5,500 per year, you can get a quality culinary arts education in your own backyard. That even includes books, tuition, class fees, and supplies. Learn to master domestic fare, pastry, and foreign cuisine in Ina, Illinois. Save thousands on a culinary arts education at Ren Lake College. For more information, log on to rlc.edu/culinary arts.
This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. Imagine this. You're driving down the road. It's dark as can be outside. Thank goodness you just had that left headlight bulb replaced. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see a thing. Now, close your eyes. Okay, don't close your eyes. You're supposed to be driving. Imagine noticing a slight twinkle off to the left, just above the ditch. What is that, you think to yourself? All of a sudden, whap! You've just encountered your first deer hit. The left side of your vehicle is beat up pretty bad. The next thing I want you to imagine is very simple. Picking up your phone and dialing 1-888-LANDERS to set up your repair. Deer claims are common, and usually a very simple process, which fall under comprehensive coverage. This is Chase Landers asking you to allow Landers to be your collision repair shop of choice. Whether it be a deer hit, fender bender, or the regular, uh-oh, sorry mom, Landers is here for you whenever you need us. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. 1-888-LANDERS, that's 1-888-LANDERS.
WMIX Sports is your home for the Mount Vernon Rams, powered by Community First Bank.
And we'll get back WMIX, WMIXsports.com, the Mount Vernon Rams, and the Civic Memorial Eagles here today on a warm Thursday afternoon with Bethalto. The Rams, of course, are 1-1 on the year. They beat Pinckneyville yesterday at home 8-3. Behind 5 strong innings from Tyler Morgan. He is now 1-0 on the year. Had 12 strikeouts yesterday. Just 1 walk allowed. Of course, only 1 run surrendered. Derek Hayes had a nice effort in relief, and the Rams were able to close out an 8-3 win over Pinckneyville. The Rams here today against Civic Memorial, a team that they've battled ever since 2011. They came in and actually had a game on April the 30th that was scheduled out of the blue, and as a result, they've been able to keep it on the schedule. Coming here in 2012, welcoming them to Brennan Klein Memorial Field back last year, and then we're making the return trip this year. The Rams will play 5 of the 6 Mississippi Valley Conference teams here in the regular season. Of course, they will have Waterloo, make that tryout, then Waterloo next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. Later in the season, of course, they'll have the Mascoutah Indians on the road, and then they'll also travel to wrap up the regular season with a doubleheader on the road and Highland against the Bulldogs. So we have all of that to look forward to this season. Of course, the Rams will have the day off on Friday and Saturday, also have Monday off before a tough stretch next week. Our first Lady Rams broadcast will be coming your way Saturday morning for the Frozen Fairfield Tournament. 9:20 is your pregame. Chad Baker will have the call as the Lady Rams battle the Heron Tigers in that opening game, a quarterfinal matchup from Fairfield. The winner and loser of that game get the winner and loser, of course, of Fairfield and Marshall to be on which side of the bracket in which they go. Of course, that's all coming your way Saturday. We'll have every game from the Frozen Fairfield Tournament here on AM 940, at least the Lady Rams games involving them. Get to know your batting order here in just a moment. Of course, brought to you by the Page Agency on Crown View in Mount Vernon. Page Insurance, call for a quote at 242-7000. That's 242-7000. For the Mount Vernon Rams here this afternoon, it'll be Ryan Campbell leading off at shortstop. Blake Jones will be in center fielder, batting second. Jake Pikes at first, batting third. Thomas Weber will be on the hill today. He's in the cleanup spot. Zach Giles is actually going to back him up in the 5-hole. He's out in right field. Aaron Morgan gets to start at catcher today, batting 6th. Derek Hayes back at the hot corner, batting 7th. Reed Millwood at second base will bat 8th. Then Zach Brookman rounds out the batting order for Tim Holloway. He is out in left field today. Page Insurance brings you that starting lineup. Call for a health quote at 242-7000 or log on to pageinsurance.net. That easy, of course, defensively for the Eagles. We Brett Beckham on the mound, Brock Huber the catcher, Jansen Holtzkamp, Connor Melton, Jake Myers, Ben Walker, third to first. We'll meet you out in just a moment. We need to honor America here, of course, from Civic Memorial. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to personal banking. Member FDIC.
Are you interested in a career in the culinary arts but can never afford the high cost of cooking school? Ren Lake College has a low-cost recipe for success. For as little as $5,500 per year, you can get a quality culinary arts education in your own backyard. That even includes books, tuition, class fees, and supplies. Learn to master domestic fare, pastry, and foreign cuisine in Ina, Illinois. Save thousands on a culinary arts education at Ren Lake College. For more information, log on to rlc.edu/culinary arts.
This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. Imagine this. You're driving down the road. It's dark as can be outside. Thank goodness you just had that left headlight bulb replaced. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see a thing. Now, close your eyes. Okay, don't close your eyes. You're supposed to be driving. Imagine noticing a slight twinkle off to the left, just above the ditch. What is that, you think to yourself? All of a sudden, whap! You've just encountered your first deer hit. The left side of your vehicle is beat up pretty bad. The next thing I want you to imagine is very simple. Picking up your phone and dialing 1-888-LANDERS to set up your repair. Deer claims are common, and usually a very simple process, which fall under comprehensive coverage. This is Chase Landers asking you to allow Landers to be your collision repair shop of choice. Whether it be a deer hit, fender bender, or the regular, uh-oh, sorry mom, Landers is here for you whenever you need us. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. 1-888-LANDERS, that's 1-888-LANDERS.
WMIX Sports is your home for the Mount Vernon Rams, powered by Community First Bank.
And both up their conference plate here in just a couple of weeks. But right now, non-conference teams, of course, back-to-back games against the Mississippi Valley Conference, one of the better 3A conferences in Southern Illinois. Typically, a team from the Valley will make it to the sectional. That's whom you'd have to beat in order to get to the Super. The Rams did just that last year in that route to fourth place in Class 3A. Now a 1-1 mark, of course. As you know, a little bit of turnover for Tim Holloway. Turned over 9 of the 10 starting lineups, of course, if you include the regular designated hitter. So things have been a little interesting for the Rams here to start the year. Got a win yesterday over the Pinckneyville Panthers, 8-3. Bats came alive, but a disappointing loss to open the year on the road at Salem, losing to the Wildcats 6-4. Of course, you met your Rams batting in order just a moment ago. We met most of the defense, of course, for Civic. It'll be Caleb Booz, Kyle Kirkpatrick, and Peter Buchanan in the outfield from left to right. But on the hill will be Brett Beckham. It's like a left-hander, of course, for the Eagles. They're wearing their home whites. They'll have purple trim, purple numerics trimmed in gold. The Rams will be in their gray pants with black tops, orange trim, orange numerics trimmed in white. All ready to get started here from Civic. Beautiful sunny skies, near a cloud in the sky. Temperature's hovering around the 60-degree mark as we get started. A few minutes early, maybe a couple minutes early. Of course, lefty pitcher. The Rams got their first look at a lefty against Riley Martin back on Tuesday afternoon. He came on in relief and actually got the win for the Wildcats. But right now, to be back on the hill, the left-hander against the right-hander, Ryan Campbell. First pitch of the game is going to be a strike on the inside corner. Campbell falls behind here, 0-1. He had a decent day at the plate yesterday. Stole a few bases, so the Rams got aggressive on the base paths, but you figure with a left-hander on the mound, stealing a base is going to be just a little bit tough today. 0-1, nobody on, nobody out. Campbell gets it started here for the Rams. He got started at 4:26. Next pitch is going to be a strike on the outside corner. Just like that, Campbell is behind 0-2. Community First Bank of the Heartland is the official voice of the Rams, Lady Rams, and of course all of high school sports here on WMIX. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Just ask about the one account. It's free checking and high-yield interest. There's going to be a pop fly in the shallow right field. Second baseman on the run. That'll see its way for a base hit. Ryan Campbell leads off the game with a single, and the Rams have a runner aboard for Blake Jones. Danny Serwinski will be back with us, of course, for the Saturday Sports Show on Saturday morning right here on WMIX AM, online at WMIXsports.com. So Jones, the right-hander, will stand in with, of course, one on and nobody out as the Rams try to threaten in the top half of this first inning. Beckham gets set. He'll come out of the stretch. Nope, he'll go over to first base. Nothing doing there for Campbell. And we'll get to it momentarily. Beautiful day here in Madison County. So glad you could join us. Don't forget to give us a follow on Twitter at WMIX Sports. Try to keep you updated for some scores from around the area here today. Of course, Centralia opening their softball play today against West Frankfort as Jones will foul back a bunt to fall behind 0-1. Jones, the right-hander, will dig back in against the left-handed pitcher. With a runner on first, it's Ryan Campbell. A sizable lead off of the bag. It's going to be tough to steal today. Set is the pitcher. He'll go back over to first base. Campbell with a head-first dive. We'll have an 0-1 count here for Blake Jones. The WMIX Sports Mobile Studios, of course, are driven by Ford Square, 1501 Broadway in Mount Vernon, also online at FordSquare.com. We can peruse all of their inventory online and find them on Facebook and Twitter. Pitch en route. Jones shows bunt, misses, maybe fouls it off, and it should be 0-2 here with one on and nobody out in the top of the first. Scoreless ball game here. Rams battling the Eagles. Left-handed pitcher Beckham gets set. Eyes the runner Campbell at first with one on and nobody out. 0-2 the count to the sophomore Blake Jones. Center fielder today for Tim Holloway. Looks in, gets the sign. Of course, it's the pitcher Beckham, and he will fan Blake Jones. Swinging strike, and of course, catcher dropped the ball, but first base not open, so Blake Jones retired on strikes. One out. That'll bring in the lefty Jake Pike. Runner on first base. Nobody either. One out now. Scoreless ball game in the top half of the first inning. Back on the pitcher, of course, gets set, looks in, will come home with it. It's going to catch the outside corner. Good fender there. Gets Pike behind 0-1 with Weber on deck. Thomas Weber will be your pitcher today, which means that Aaron Morgan's going to get to start behind the plate. The Rams are going to need a good performance from their senior pitcher with a tough Civic team. 0-1 the count. 1 on, 1 out here in the top of the first, and they're going to go over to first base to check on the runner. Ryan Campbell reached with a single in the shallow right field to start off the game. We got started at 4:26. Rams have gone over 2 hours in each of their 2 games this season. Of course, we told you in the postseason not see a game longer than an hour 10. Longest game of the year last year was just at the 2-hour mark. Of course, usually hitting an hour 30, averaging an hour 30 most of the way. Inside pitch, check, swing. Good job there by Pike to hold up. Looks like the count's 1 ball, 1 strike. Pike, the left-hander, now at first base, which is spending most of 2013 in right field. Of course, the loss of most of the lineup forced some kids to switch places as far as returning. And now Beckham gets set. Here comes the pitch on the way, and it's going to be a golf shot foul for Pike. He'll fall behind 1-2. Saturday Sports Show comes your way Saturday morning, of course, right here on AM 940 and WMIXsports.com. We'll recap the basketball season and look ahead to our spring coverage. You can find our full schedule at WMIXsports.com. We're working on getting all the archives updated for you. As Campbell will get a lead off at first base. The pitcher is the left-hander. Beckham gets set, looks for the sign. Here comes the pitch on the way. It's inside the Pike. He'll turn inside and work the count even, 2-2. Fairly spacious ballpark here in Bethalto. Down the lines, 325, 370 in the gaps, 390, of course, straightaway center. As Beckham will come out of the stretch. Nope, he'll go over to first base and back safely with a head-first dive is Ryan Campbell. We're on Facebook as well, not just the Twitterverse. Find us on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. Plenty of content up there from today and yesterday. As Rams baseball in full swing. Plenty of games coming your way. Every pitch of Rams baseball right here. Check swing in the dirt on the pitch. Mike's going to have a full count here with the runner on first and 1 out. If Weber keeps the inning going, we'll see Zach Gines, of course, the right fielder. JV games going on to our right as the Rams looking to go, I believe, to 3-0 this season. Got a big win open here against Salem, 11-1. As we wait to make our break pitch with the runner going. This one's going to be lined to the left field on the run. Will be Booz, and he'll make the grab. Having to go all the way back to first will be Ryan Campbell. Should be no problem to double him off, as he will fall around second base. So there you go. It'll be a 7-3 double play to end the inning. We are through 1/2, no score. This is Rams baseball, we think, on WMIX.
The Chevrolet Open House event is going on now at Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon. The price you see is the price you pay. Save big on the full lineup of Chevrolet cars, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers. Save over $7,000 on the North American Truck of the Year, the Silverado. Get low lease payments on the all-new Chevy Impala, a Consumer Reports pick. But hurry, this is for a limited time only. Come to Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
Your spine is a miracle of engineering, so when pain strikes, your body is telling you to get help fast. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois is proud to feature their spine care team. Doctors Kowalski and Smith, the professionals at Orthopedic Center, specialize in back and neck pain. So put our spine care team on the job. Find out more online at orthocenter-si.com. Stop the pain, fix the problem, and enjoy life again. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois. Back to Mount Vernon Rams baseball, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
And we welcome you back to Bethalto. We head to the bottom half of the first inning where we meet the Eagles batting order. It'll be Connor Melton leading off at shortstop. Right back with the pitcher bats second. Jansen Holtkamp's the third baseman batting third. It's Finn Walker in the cleanup spot at first base. Zach Klostermeyer, of course, the designated hitter, will bat fifth. It's Caleb Booz, the left fielder, batting sixth. Kyle Kirkpatrick, a name synonymous, many might remember, played basketball at Johnson City, and of course the Kyle Kirkpatrick that went to MVTHS, not the same one, is batting seventh out in center field. Jake Myers, the second baseman, will bat eighth, and Peter Buchanan, the right fielder, will bat ninth for the Civic Memorial Eagles out of the Mississippi Valley Conference. This is their first game of the year, but they did a great job defensively. Of course, a miscue on the base pass cost the Rams a chance at a run there as they stranded a runner. No runs, one hit, one stranded. A nice 7-3 double play to end that first inning as the Rams thought a Pike liner was going to get down in left field and ends up in a double play to close out that first inning. So we have no scores. We head to the bottom half of the first. The Mount Vernon Rams and the Civic Eagles. It'll be Thomas Weber on the hill. Catching him is Aaron Morgan. From third to first, of course, it is Derek Hayes, Ryan Campbell, Reed Millwood, Jake Pike. Left, right in the outfield is Zach Brookman, of course, Blake Jones, and Zach Gines. It was a strike on the first pitch, of course, to Connor Melton. Falls behind 0-1. Mostly in relief last year was Thomas Weber. We'll see what Tommy Webbs has this year. As this will be fouled off first base side of the plate. It'll be 0-2. The official voice of high school sports here on WMIX is Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking, member FDIC. Home of the one account also. It's free checking and high-yield interest. Next pitch on the way, a fastball in the dirt. It'll be 1-2 with back from the pitcher on deck. Civic has kind of a interesting schedule. Of course, still a team that plays a lot of the area teams. Of course, Carrollton, Roxana, East Alton, Wood River. They're in the Valley. Mississippi Valley Conference, of course, with Jerseyville, Highland, Triad, Waterloo, and Mascoutah. This pitch is high on the fastball. It'll miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I saw Edwardsville on the schedule. Rams are supposed to have played Edwardsville this year on a pitch that gets away in the dirt. Full count now to Melton. So instead of Edwardsville, of course, at home in late May, they'll settle for, I believe, Clinton. That'll be at Busch Stadium on May the 4th. As this is a pitch high and away, and the first batter walks for the Eagles. Putting one aboard with nobody out for Brett Beckham, the pitcher. Try to get you some scoreboard updates from around the area today. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. Scoreboard updates, of course, powered by Tony Wiltz, your State Farm agent in Mount Vernon. Find him online at TonyWiltz.com or look for the white State Farm Jeep around town and get to a better state with State Farm. Lefty bat is back in the lefty pitcher. He'll bunt one past Hayes. Weber's going to have to come off of the mound, and this is going to be a base hit. Nobody to cover third, and that was almost an opportunity for Melton to go around and swipe an extra bag. But as it stands right now, it'll be an infield single off the bunt to put runners at first and second with nobody out for Jansen Holtkamp, the third baseman. We'll have a courtesy runner, of course, for the pitcher. That'll be Nick Capazza. As we have no score in the bottom of the first, the Civic looking to change that here early. Chris Hugo with you. Danny Zerwinski on assignment. Quentin Lemoy back at our Mount Vernon studio. Avery Barton lurking around, I'm sure, the building somewhere. As Weber out of the stretch, we'll see what he comes with here. Showing bunt is Holtkamp. He'll pull back, and it looked like a pitch that looked fairly good. Caught the corner. It'll be 0-1 with Walker on deck for the Eagles. If I'm not mistaken, Walker's about 6'5", 205. Check on the runner at second base. Rams have done quite a bit of that. Have picked off a couple of guys this year already. Nothing doing there for Melton. 2 on and nobody out. Bottom of the first, no score. Weber gets set. Here comes the pitch on the way. It's going to miss low and inside. Should be 1-1 here to Holtkamp. As the Eagles are looking to threaten here in their half of the first inning here at home. Much different look to this Rams team this year. Trying to find their identity. And a lot of consistencies there in 11, 12, and 13. I'll find many guys return with a lack of experience. Bunt pushed down the first base side. Shouldn't be a problem for Pike. He'll throw to the covering second baseman, Millwood. And 3-4 on the sacrifice. Puts a couple in scoring position here for the Eagles, for Ben Walker. And probably not the position you want to find yourself in. 2 in scoring position for arguably the team's best hitter, at least the projected best hitter. Nice fluid swing has Walker. Got to watch him warm up, of course, with Tim Holloway and Quinn McClure as he's taking some cuts to the batting cages. It's a nice fluid swing. See if that pays off against the right-handed pitcher, Weber. Here comes the offering inside. That's going to get away. It's a wild pitch, but thankfully the velocity will take it right back to Aaron Morgan. Nobody's going anywhere. 1-0 the count here to Walker. It's a good fastball, so good it saved a run. Credit the wild pitch. 1-0 is your count. 2 on, 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. As the Rams looking to try to keep the Eagles at bay. Here comes. This will be a high fastball for a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Walker. Klostermeyer, the DH, will follow. Booz, the left fielder, should this inning continue. Right now, 0-0 here in the bottom of the first. Center fielder Jones will shade towards right. Hoping to make something happen here against the left-handed bat. Golf shot into right field. This one could head towards the scoreboard and get down. It'll be in the gap at the 370 sign. Both runs will score. Walker's around second, headed for third. Right now it's 2-0 Eagles. It'll be a 2 RBI triple for Ben Walker. And there you go. So just like that, the Rams trail 2-0. Now with 2 runs on 2 hits for Civic Memorial, and the DH Klostermeyer will stand in. He is 6'2", 235, so you have the 2 bigger beasts in the lineup back-to-back. Of course, 4 and 5. Walker the lefty, and then Klostermeyer the righty with Booz on deck. As the Rams have surrendered 2 early runs. The WMIX Sports Mobile Studios are driven by King City Chrysler Center. We'll tell you about them throughout the day. Weber out of the stretch with the runner on third and 1 out. Fires a fastball. It's going to miss up and in, 1-0. Rams knew they'd have a battle here today on the road against a good Civic team. Here comes. This is the high fastball. Ground ball to Millwood. He's going to go ahead and throw home to the catcher, Morgan. Runner Walker will be out at the plate, and there is your second out on the fielder's choice, 4-2. Surprised that Walker went ahead and ran there, but he went ahead and went home, even though Millwood was watching him all the way, and it turns into an easy out. And now, instead of a threat off at third, you have just a runner on first and 2 gone. So maybe the Rams get out of this inning with the damage limited. Caleb Booz stands in. Where's number 17? He'll check on the runner first. There's a high throw, good grab by Pike. The Rams, of course, not the Rams that we are used to seeing. And 2 games in now, this is their third. Still trying to find that identity and who's going to stick where. This is going to be a hard-hit ground ball through the opposite side of the infield for the left-handed batter, Booz. It'll be 2 on and 2 out now for the Eagles. Get another base hit here in this first inning. Video streaming will return in August, of course, the Mount Vernon Rams. Football team will open up with a bit of a new schedule to replace their Week 1 and Week 2 opponents. They'll now have Taylorville and Charleston. They keep Mount Carmel Week 9, of course, always the Triad game in Week 3. Video returns in, presented by Ren Lake College. Log on to rlc.edu to see how you can save thousands of dollars on your college education. See if the Rams can save some runs here. First and second runners with 2 outs and a strike fired by Weber. On the first pitch of the at-bat to Cal Kirkpatrick, the 7th batter of the inning for the Eagles. Jones playing straight away center field now. The infield, of course, at normal depth with 2 outs and 2 on as the pitch looked like it just missed. Keeps the count of 1 ball and 1 strike for Kirkpatrick. Jake Myers on deck here for the Eagles. Up 2-0 here in the bottom of the first inning with 2 on and 2 outs. Still trying to threaten as this will be blown past. Good fastball by Weber. Swung and missed by Kirkpatrick. It's 1-2. Rams and Lady Rams, of course, have the day off tomorrow. Lady Rams open up their season on Saturday at the Frozen Fairfield tournament. We'll have all of the coverage here on WMIX. 1-2 coming inside corner, just misses off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nice Fairfield tournament for the Lady Rams. Of course, they have Heron at 9:30. It's Fairfield, Marshall, Carterville, St. Elmo. Salem's in the tournament as well. So 2-0 to score. Here comes the pitch on 2-2. Misses up and away. Full count to Patrick. So we make or break time for Thomas Weber, the senior pitcher. Part of a couple of nice plays played already in the years. The Rams had 2 gunned down against Salem. 1 out of left field, 1 out of right. Full count here, 2 gone, 2 aboard here for Civic. Here comes the pitch high, and this will walk the bases loaded. This will bring in Jake Myers, the second baseman, and right now the Eagles are 1 batter away from having batted around here in the home half of the first inning. 2-0 ball game. It was a 2 RBI triple by Ben Walker that opened it up. He tried to come in to score. Well, it was a 4-2 fielder's choice, at least became that. And now Myers will tap 1 foul just beyond the catch to the third base side for 0-1. Game is about 18 minutes old here in the bottom of the first inning. Could be a long one or maybe a short one today if Civic can get a big base hit here. Bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. Weber set out at the stretch. The right-hander will fire. It's going to be a high strike. And it's 0-2 here to Jake Myers of Buchanan, the 9 batter on deck. Of course, Thomas has been out of the stretch most of the day. It's only out of the windup 1 time. Here comes another high pitch. It'll miss. 1-2. are back in action after today on Tuesday when they'll welcome the Triad Knights to town, followed by Waterloo the next day on the road. They'll take the day off Thursday and have Decatur St. Teresa. High fastball, swung and a miss, and that'll get the Rams out of the inning. We are through one, but the damage done. As Civic Strands 3, it's 2-0 Bethalto. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. By now you have heard about our new One Checking product. The new One Account is a high-interest earning, free checking account designed for everyone. Unlike other banks that pay interest on higher balance, this account pays interest on all balances. From high schoolers to Warren Buffett, One will work for you. You can talk to one of us at 244-3000 and learn about the details. One, exclusively at Community First Bank. You will be one happy customer. Member FDIC.
This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Wilt. I want to thank Mount Vernon and the surrounding area for continuing to support us over the past 5 years. If you have never sat down with someone to go over your insurance program, let me invite you into our office. Let us show you what working with the industry leader, represented by a local agent, can do for you. I'm located just off 42nd Street. You can reach our office 24 hours a day at 242-1421 or on the web at tonywilt.com. Thanks again, and go Rams.
Back to Mount Vernon Rams Baseball, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
And welcome back. Civic Memorial High School is a little bit away from here, but also at the sports complex here at the baseball field. The Mount Vernon Rams trail the Eagles. High score up 2-0, but thankfully, of course, for the Rams. It was Nesson Square. The Eagles stranded the bases loaded before they could bat around there in the first inning, but they did get 2 runs on 3 hits. And, of course, right now, the Rams are going to find some control on the hill. It'll be Brett Beckham out for a second inning of work. He'll have 4, 5, and 6. Let's see if Weber can get something done offensively. He's been the most consistent power bat for the Rams. Has hit the ball hard, has a few base hits, has a nice batting average. Of course, we'll get you some stats. We usually wait till about the 3rd or 4th game, getting in the books before we start using stats, at least in terms of batting average. As the right-handed Weber will stand in, gets a good look at a left-handed pitcher. Here for the Eagles, 2-0 Civic on top of the second pitch on the way. Will be raked into left field for a leadoff base hit for Weber. So could have almost called that. 1 pitch, 1 hit here for Tommy, and this will bring in Zach Gines. Get another chance today in Tim Holloway's lineup. Tim, of course, still trying to find just who's going to stick as far as his top 9 up and down the lineup. Hoping Zach Gines can play a pivotal role here, the senior right fielder. 1 on and nobody out. He'll get the sign from Coach Holloway in the third base coaching box. And Zach will dig in against the lefty Beckham. Beckham looks over at the runner on first. Now looks into his catcher, Huber. Going to come home with it. Giant shows bunt, pulls back, clean for a strike, and it's 0-1. Second Chance Auto has your largest selection of pre-owned vehicles priced under $10,000 in one location. Also, bank rate financing for all. See why they've been around for 34 years at Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Don't forget, no fancy sales or gimmicks, just honest deals. As Beckham checks over at the runner on first. Of course, we have the courtesy runner. Thought it was Connor's Story. Get a good look at the number on the uniform, but going by the shoes and the cleats, that's whom it would appear to be. Next pitch on the way to Giants. He'll take it inside. That's going to get away, and Story's going to head on down to second base. So 1-1 now to count to Zach with a runner in scoring position. So an RBI chance here with an even count. Nobody out, top 2. Also the Ram deficit 2-0 as Civic was able to strike first. Normally they play 4:15 starts over here in the Metro East. Assuming accommodating the Rams here today with a 4:30 start time. It's a 1-1 pitch. It's coming. That'll be sent foul, tapped over to the third base side. It'll go towards the Civic dugout. And it'll be 1-2 for Zach Giants. Aaron Morgan, the catcher, on deck. Tim Holloway in his 10th year. The wins continue to pile up. Of course, had that 31-win season a year ago and route to a 4th-place finish in Class 3A. 31-10-1 was the Ram record last year. As the 1-2 pitch on the way to Giants. This will be a ground ball. Could it see its way through? It will. Past the diving shortstop, Melton. They're going to hold Story at third base. There'll be runners at the corners on Zach Giants' first base hit of the year. Now they'll bring in the catcher, Aaron Morgan. Aaron, 1 of 2 Morgans here on the team. Tyler Morgan had a nice effort yesterday. Again, 5 strong innings, 12 strikeouts, 1 walk. The Rams win over Pinckneyville. It got the Rams back to 500, looking to get over 500 today, but here in the top of the second, they trail 2-0. With 2 on, the runners are at the corners, nobody out. And Aaron Morgan getting his first plate appearance of the season. Rams historically have struggled against left-handed pitchers. Of course, most teams typically do, but not going to see much action from the lefty. Beckham, force pitching well here in the early going. It has 2 on and nobody out. The first pitch will just miss low and away to the right-handed Morgan. 1-0. Back-to-back singles for the Rams. Let's see if Aaron Morgan can turn it into a hit parade here. Maybe load the bases or get this runner in from third base. Story on third. That is Zach Gines off of first. Story, the courtesy runner for the pitcher, Thomas Weber. And they'll check on the runner, Gines. Doing a great job of keeping the Rams honest. Of course, a great move over there at first base. But typically, the Rams try not to run too much off of left-handed pitching. Like to be aggressive, but not over-aggressive. And like to be smart. 1-0 the count. 2 on, nobody out here. Top of the second inning. A 2-0 ball game. Pitch on the way is going to be popped foul over the Ram dugout. It should even the count up here. 1 ball and 1 strike with Derek Hayes, the third baseman, on deck. Center fielder, of course, is Kyle Kirkpatrick. He's playing almost straight away. Shane a little towards right field. Of course, the batter's box and how it's chalked can be a little deceiving, as it is not pointing through the mound. Second base back towards straightaway center. As this will be a pitch inside, it was low. Looks like it could be 2-1. Didn't see the strike sign go up, so we'll call 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 on, nobody out. Here in the second inning. Of course, the Mississippi Valley Conference always provides great competition. If you're a 3A team, possibly looking to beef up your schedule, you want to try to schedule the Valley teams. Rams play all the Jerseyville. The 2-1 coming. This will be sent the opposite way. A soft liner to the second baseman. He'll make the grab. Good play by Myers. Put it in his pocket, not try to force a double play that wasn't there, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Derek Hayes will stand in, of course. Did not get to start at third base yesterday, but did pitch 2 quality innings. Came on in relief to close it out, and the Rams preserved a 8-3 victory. It was 8-1, of course, when Tyler Morgan came out. He pitched phenomenally. Now runners at the corners for the Rams here offensively, and Hayes will foul 1 straight back to fall behind 0-1. 2 runs, 3 hits, 3 left aboard here for Civic Memorial. No runs on 3 hits thus far for the Rams here in the top of the second, trailing 2-0. Back on the left, he gets set. Ice, the runner at first, will come home, and this will be a strike in waiting, of course, for Derek Hayes. He will fall behind 0-2. 1 out, 2 aboard. Rams have runners at the corners trying to make something happen. Crack that goose egg here in the top half of the second. Bryant, of course, Civic will have 9-1-2. Bryant, of course, will be the Rams' next opponent on Tuesday, 4:15, the pregame, as this will come in the dirt. That'll get away. A run is going to come home to score. Here comes Connor Story across the plate, and his second will go Zach Gines. The Rams trail 2-1. Still an RBI chance here for Hayes. Has a 1-2 count with a runner on second base, just 1 out, and a 2-1 ball game. Let's see if the Rams get the runs back here in the second inning. Beckham eyes the signs from his catcher. And now we'll have time called by Hayes, and we'll wait a little bit. 1-2 the count, 1 gone here in the top of the second. WMIX Sports Mobile Studios, driven by Ford Square at 1501 Broadway, Mount Vernon. Schedule your service appointments online at FordSquare.com. 1-2 in round, ground ball to third. It'll be foul. Just outside the chalk, and the Rams will have to do it again. 1-2 strikes, 1 gone. Runner on second base, an RBI opportunity for Derek Hayes. Played quality JV time last year. We got to see him, of course, at GCS Ballpark. The JV played after the varsity last year against Alton. In fact, most of these kids called up from AAA JV from a year ago. 2-1 the score. Rams down a run, but the tying run on second base. Here's the pitch on the way to Hayes. Check swing was a foul tip. He's arguing foul tip. But okay. They went with the check swing, claiming it was not a foul tip. Went around, that'll be your second out of the inning. On the second strikeout of the day from Brett Beckham. So 2 outs, tying run on second base. This will bring in Reed Millwood. Millwood, of course, in the 8th spot is your second baseman. Hoping that he and, of course, Ryan Campbell for the next 2 years will be a nice little middle infield. Of course, Reach is a sophomore. Ryan, of course, is a junior. He will back out. Runner on second base. It's a tying run down 2-1 here in the top half of the second inning. If you're just joining us here on WMIX, the 5 o'clock news will be FM only today. With Chad Baker, of course, is going to catch the outside corner. First pitch to the right-hander, 0-1. Brookman on deck for the Rams. We're trying to tie it up, hoping for something off the bat of Reed Millwood. 0-1 the count, 2 outs here. Top of the second inning. It's a 2-1 ball game. Beckham looks back towards second base. Nobody covering. Here comes. Soft ground ball, left side of the infield. Third baseman will cut it off. Camp fires across the diamond in time. So 5-3 will retire the side. But not before the Rams cut it in half. It's 2-1 Civic Memorial. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
You can count on us. Yes, you can.
Chrysler continues to raise the bar with huge incentives. Hi, Roy Schmidt, Chrysler dealer at King City Chrysler Center, Mount Vernon. Chrysler is offering a $3,000 rebate on all new 2014 Dodge Avengers, plus an additional $500 when you finance through Chrysler Capital. That's $3,500 in incentives on the all-new 2014 Dodge Avenger. Bring in your trade, even if you owe $9,000 more than it's worth. Our finance department will get to work for you and find the best rate and payment possible. Come talk to one of our sales associates and see how you can drive away in one of our over 25 in-stock 2014 Dodge Avengers. We are at King City Chrysler Center, 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon, Illinois, or browse our inventory at kingcitychryslercenter.com.
You can count on us. Yes, you can.
This is Mount Vernon Rams Baseball, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
And we'll welcome you back. Civic Memorial here at the Bethalto Sports Complex. The Eagles on top of your Rams, 2-1. Glad to have you. WMIX, WMIXsports.com. I'm Chris Hugo. Danny Serwinski's on assignment. Quentin Lloyd is back in our Mount Vernon studio. So Buchanan leads it off here for Civic in the bottom of the second inning. Rams trailing 2-1. This will be a first pitch strike call from the inside corner. It's no balls, 1 strike. Also threw up Melton and Beckham. Both singled and scored, or actually Melton walked. Beckham singled, but both scored in or half of the first inning to take the 2-1 lead. Pitch dances in the third. There makes it 1 ball, 1 strike. The right-handed batter against Thomas Weber. Pitching out of the windup just the second time today. Now misses belt high inside, 2 balls and a strike. Think about our Rams booster sponsors throughout the game. 2-1 will be Get 3-1 as that's in the dirt low. Rams trying not to struggle here on the road, but things not quite as promising as they had hoped. 3-1 pitch en route. This will be a ground ball. Can Reed Millwood get it? Nice backhanded stab off the ground. Fires over to first, and 4-3 is your first out. Baseball and softball seasons are here, but what about your corporate season? Make the call to the bullpen for Winning Edge's high-quality embroidered apparel to equip your employee team in style. Winning Edge, downtown Mount Vernon. And this will bring in Connor Melving and walked and scored back at first. Base is empty here. 1 out, 2-1 ball game. Rams trailing. This is going to be a high fastball. It's tight, 1-0. Major League Baseball actually will get going this weekend as the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks are in Australia as the 1-0 comes. We'll miss low and away, 2-0. Cardinals will open the season on the road, I believe, at Cincinnati. Of course, every pitch of St. Louis Cardinals baseball is on 94.1 FM WMIX this season. Spring training games are weekend only, but we'll have every pitch of the regular season. And as 2-0 becomes 2-1, the strike inside corner, the right-handed batter melted. Weber already set to come with 2-1. That is going to be very high, very side level to Melton. Out of the way, thankfully, and it's 3-1. Of course, the road is shut, and the Reds closers a line drive off the head. Appears to be okay. Confusion, I think, according to the Twitterverse. High pop fly, right side of the infield, Pike underneath in fair territory. And there's your second out. Of course, Australia all over the news right now, not only because of Major League Baseball's opening games there down under, but also because Australian military believe that they may have found pieces of the missing Malaysia Airlines flight. You've been listening to NBC News Top Ferry Hour on WMIX AM and FM. You may have heard about that. As the first pitch comes, the lefty pitcher back. The first pitch seen can lead to the third out. It's in the right field, right center on the run. It's Jake. Let's see, Jake. That is Giants. Not Jake. That'd be Giants by combined in a four-man tow. But that'll take care of things here in the second. Through 2-1 Civic. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
What does technology sound like? Is it the clang of heavy machinery, the beeps and chirps of an electronic gadget? At the new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center, technology sounds a little something like this.
It's the sound of a young girl excited because her mom's being released the same day as her minimally invasive surgery. Thanks to the Da Vinci surgical robot, our surgeons' hand motions are seamlessly translated into smaller, more precise movements. But surgery isn't the only way Good Samaritan is raising the bar for advanced healthcare in Southern Illinois.
That's the sound of a patient's health record being updated and stored electronically for immediate access by nurses, primary care doctors, and specialists alike. That's why soon, the new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center will use all electronic patient health records. Less paper translates to faster, better care for you. And that sounds a little something like this.
The new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a hospital, raising the bar.
Follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. This is Mount Vernon Rams Baseball.
Rams get a 1-2-3 inning there in the bottom of the second. It's 2-1 Civic as we head to the top of the third. For Mount Vernon, it'll be 9-1-2. Zach Brookman, Ryan Campbell, and Blake Jones for Tim Holloway's lineup. Of course, 2-1 the scores we told you. Civic scored twice in the bottom half of the first inning, but shut down there in the bottom of the second. Rams got a run to cut it in half there in the top half of inning two. See what they can do with the bottom of the order, evolving back into the top, where some of the bright spots in the lineup have come. Community First Bank of the Heartland, home of your one account. It's free checking and high-yield interest. Community First Bank has 5 Joseph County branches with responsive quality service for all of your accounts. Brett Beckham, the left-hander, been very effective thus far. Rams did find a couple of hits there in the second. We'll see what happens. Trying to get some scores from around the area, of course. Chris Hugo with you. Danny Zawinski is on assignment. He'll be back with us for the Saturday Sports Show a couple of days from now. It'll be after the 8 o'clock news every Saturday morning, AM 940 and WMIXsports.com. The right-hander, Brookman, will stand in against the lefty pitcher back, and center fielder is straight away. Corner outfielders, of course, guarding the lines, and this will be a first pitch ball outside. Looked good, but just missed. So 1-0 the count here to Zach Brookman. Stands back in, ready to pounce on the fastball, but it's going to be low and away, 2-0. Next one inside, missing. 3 balls, no strikes. So hitter's count here for Brookman. Getting things underway in the top half of inning number 3. The Rams cut it half an inning ago, trailed 2-1. Back set out of the windup, fires. Lead up walk. Pitch missed low, just hovering right over the plate under the radar. And that'll put a runner aboard with nobody out. That'll bring the top of the order for Ryan Campbell. Campbell, of course, singled back in the first. Was later doubled off and had the right idea. Thought the pipeline drive in the left was going to get down past the glove of Caleb Booz, but ended up caught in a nice cannon back to first base in the Rams' first inning. Campbell has another try with the runner aboard. Shows bunt, going to push it down the right side, going to try to beat everybody to the bag. Here comes the first baseman, scoop over to the second baseman covering. He pulled his foot off of the bag, and Ryan Campbell will reach on the air. That puts 2 aboard. Second baseman covering. It was a great effort there by Myers that pulled the foot off of the bag, and now there's 2 aboard. For Blake Jones, a nice opportunity. Struck out his last time up. Hoping to maybe get an RBI and tie the game here with a tying run on second. 2 on, nobody out, top of the third. Blake will call for time. Tony Wilt brings you your scoreboard updates. Find Tony online at TonyWilt.com or look for the White State Farm Jeep around town and get you a better state with your State Farm agent, Tony Wilt. Jones awaits the pitch. He's going to bump it. Bunt it sky high. It's a foul ball. Catcher can't catch up with a good effort by Huber. So it'll be a loud strike, 0-1. 2 on and nobody out. Here in the top of the third inning, just past the top of the 5 o'clock hour. We'll take care of that in just a moment. See what happens with Blake Jones, a sophomore. He's out in center field today. He's done a nice job out there defensively. Looking for a big base hit here. 0-1. He'll show on again, pulled back, and it got away. Runner committed to go into third. They'll both advance. Good job by Ryan Campbell. They lost track of Campbell off the first, and it'll be second and third. The 1-1's the count here to Blake Jones. He'll take a few practice swings, look over to Tim Holloway for some guidance as he finishes up talking, of course, to Zach Brookman. And the Rams with a well-placed base hit could take the lead here. They trail 2-1. Top of the third inning, a 1-1 count on the batter, Blake Jones. Almost said Zach. I'll try not to do that to him, too. Here comes the pitch on the way, and that's going to be the dirt and get away. Not far enough for the runners to advance, but it will be 2-1. We're taking a look at the Civic Memorial Lady Eagles. Of course, they're not that far removed from the sectional championship game. The sectional championship, I believe, back in 2011, they beat the Lady Rams back in Centralia. 2-1 coming. This is going to be popped up first base side. Walker's going to give chase in the coach's box. They'll make the grab for the first out. That's set past the top of the hour. We'll pause for station identification. This is Rams Radio.
WMIX Sports is WMIX Mount Vernon and all of Southern Illinois. This is Mount Vernon Rams Baseball, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
Batter will be Jake Pike, the third-place hitter for the Rams, with 2 on and 1 out. Looking to get an RBI. Had a line drive, but somehow Caleb Booth came up with him running left. Takes it low and away in the lefty-lefty matchup here. We'll see who it favors. Right now it's 1-0 in the favor of Pike. The First Bank of the Heartland is the official voice of Rams athletics and high school sports on WMIX, WMIXsports.com. Beckham set. Here comes the pitch on the way. Pike lays off. That's a good strike cutting across the plate. It's 1-1. Lady Rams get airtime Saturday, of course. We have every game from the Fairfield Frozen Tournament. Then we're back at it on Monday. We'll have both games of the Jefferson County Invitational. 1 ball, 1 strike, though, here on Rams Baseball. Pike in the box, the left-handed batter versus left-handed pitcher Beckham. He'll hit the zone again. Wow. That was about belt high, right down the heart of the plate. And Jake Pike gets lucky. It's 2 balls and a strike, 2 aboard. 1 out here in the top half of the third inning. And Beckham just kind of shaking it off and move on for what could have been a 1-2 count on Pike. Pitch on the way, and it's low. So 3-1. It'll be interesting what happens the rest of the way in this at bat. That was a well-placed pitch that became 2-1. Rams have runners on second and third. A well-placed base hit, of course, will give them the lead. Here comes the pitch from Beckham. Pike will tomahawk this one towards second base. Only choice will be go to first, and 4-3 will be the RBI for Pike to tie it at 2. So ground out by Jake advances the runners. That'll bring in Thomas Weber. Of course, he singled off the first pitch he saw back in the second. Came around to score the Rams' first run. Actually, he didn't. Connor Story did as a courtesy runner, but you get what I'm saying. Tied it 2 in the top of the third. Weber will step out of the right-handed box with 2 outs and a runner on third base. Finlake College can save you thousands of dollars on your college education. Log on to rlc.edu to find out how. As Weber's out of the box, we'll see what's going on here. He did call time. Now they're going to go ahead and do the intentional walk to Weber. Probably a good decision. Weber has been hammering the ball. That'll put runners in corners. For Zach Giants, who came in today struggling at the plate, but got a base hit. Part of back-to-back base hit about the second inning for Mount Vernon. Find our full broadcast schedule for spring sports on our website at WMIXsports.com. Richard Canton High School softball after 1. Pickeringville leads Heron 3-0. Scoreboard updates presented by Tony Wilt. We'll have more of those throughout the afternoon. Runners at the corners for the Rams. Back up trying to get himself out of a little bit of a jam here in the top half of the third. Looks over if the runner comes home, and this is going to be a pitch out. It'll be 1-0. So they pitch out, trying to keep the runners honest. Of course, with the Rams, the thing you always have to keep in the back of your mind is the force balk play. Worked to a maximum effect from this is Salem, of course, actually getting the ball. It's time to see both runners advance. This will be a line drive off of the ground. Good pick by the shortstop, fires the first in time. And that'll end the inning on a hard hit ball from Giants. That'll take care of things, of course. We are through 2.5, tied at 2. This is WMIX Baseball from WMIX Sports.
If you've been trying to buy a car with a challenging credit history, you've discovered that it can be discouraging. But there is good news. I mean really good news. Not all buy here, pay here dealerships are the same. Second Chance Auto really is different. For 34 years, Second Chance Auto has guaranteed to give you the best value for every dollar you spend. Listen, did you know that at some dealerships, if you buy an $8,000 vehicle with minimal down, it could end up costing you $2,000 more? At Second Chance Auto, they'll explain how you can save more on the total cost of your vehicle. No surprises, just honest deals, bank rate financing for all, and a truly dependable vehicle with the best value for your hard-earned dollar. This tax season, use your refund where it will go the farthest. Let Second Chance Auto earn your business and your trust. You won't be disappointed. Second Chance Auto, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Call today, 244-4582.
Streaming worldwide at WMIXsports.com. This is Mount Vernon Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
And welcome you back to Bethalto Sports Complex. Civic Memorial Eagles and the Mount Vernon Rams are all tied up, as we see. 3, 4, and 5 of the Bethalto lineup here in the bottom half of the third inning. Rams came back to tie it with an RBI groundout from Jake Pike there in the top half of the inning. But right now, we'll see what the defense can do. 1-2-3 last time up for the Eagles. It's the first pitch strike inside corner for Jansen Holtkamp. He's followed by Ben Walker and Zach Klostermeyer. Here in the home half of the third inning. Weber set out of the windup, and a curveball will just miss. We'll just catch it inside. My apologies. So much for that resolution of not calling balls for strikes before they happen. 0-2 the count. Weber will fire, and this will be a bender that gets away. It's in the dirt. Good stop by the catcher, Morgan. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Holtkamp, of course, sacrificed last time. That was right before the 2 RBI triple by Ben Walker. That almost broke it open, but a high fastball swung on a miss, a tomahawk swing, and that'll be Weber's second K of the afternoon. In the first out of the inning, things look to have settled down for Weber, at least from the second into the third. Let's see how he does against Ben Walker. In case you're wondering, Walker is every bit of 6'5", 205 pounds. Of course, you have Klostermeyer on deck, who's 6'2", 235. Nice. First pitch on the way will be outside, trying to pitch around, perhaps, be a little cautious, and it's 1-0. Community First Bank of the Heartland, official voice of the Rams and Lenny Rams. I'll tell you more about them in a moment after the 1-0 pitch is a strike down the middle, 1-1. Your community, your choice, your bank with 5 locations and friends and neighbors on staff who understand your needs. Community First Bank keeps it simple. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC. Liberal strike zone here on the outside corner of left-handed bats, and it's quickly 1-2. That is not a statement on politics, as this will miss high, 2-2. Things quickly even. Haven't seen many left-handed bats, of course, so it'll be interesting as the 2-2 counts. Almost identical location to the second pitch of the at-bat. That was a strike, but it misses. It will be a full count, 3-2. Base is empty, 1 out here for the Eagles, tied at 2. And that will miss high. So a walk is, that was a case where Weber was very careful, almost an intentional walk. As he's trying to pitch around the batter, just happened to get a couple of strike calls out of the deal. Already in Klostermeyer, of course, he grounded into a 4-2 fielder's choice his last time up. As for some unbeknownst reason, Walker, who was on third, went ahead and came home, even though Millwood had his eyes set on him. But would end up throwing him out at the plate. So let's see what Weber can do here with a runner on and 1 out in the bottom half of the third inning and a tie ball game. 2-2 the score. Here comes the pitch out of the stretch. Weber will fire a fastball for a strike across the inside corner. And the right-handed Klostermeyer is behind 0-1. Lake College can save you thousands on your college education. Log on to rlc.edu to find out how. Is this the breaking pitch in the dirt inside 1-1? Rams looking very forward, trying to get above 500 and see what they can do against Triad in a sectional championship rematch on Tuesday. As this is a pitch across the inside corner, 1-2. Rams and Triad have built up a nice little rivalry on the baseball diamond, have already had a good one on the football field. Girls basketball plays each other. See what happens. 1-2 en route. Outside corner misses. 2-2. So now, Boston Iron even count. The DH digs in. Here comes. This one will be hit the opposite way into right center field, heading toward the gap, and it'll get down. Jones will be the first to get there. As Walker around second, headed for third. He'll be waved around. Klostermeyer not stopping. He'll head into third. Here comes the relay, not in time. And it'll be 3-2 as an RBI triple gives the Eagles the lead. What a triple by Klostermeyer. Very fleet of foot for a man of his size. And now that'll bring in Caleb Booz, number 17, who's 1 for 1 today. He singled his last time up. Just when the Rams think it might have it under control, there comes a run. Of course, we told you Civic will have the rest of the week off. They'll have Monday at home against Staunton. Pitch in round, and the first pitch of this is bat to Booz, fouled off behind him. It'll be 0-1. Busy week next week for both teams. Civic, of course, has Staunton Monday, travel to Breeze Central on Tuesday. Thursday, they have Southwestern at Appiasaw. And they host a doubleheader with Alton on Saturday. Rams have a similar week, as this will be a golf shot. It'll get away. It's quickly 0-2 to Booz with 1 on and 1 out. The runner on third, 3-2 game. Civic on top. Of course, we told you the Rams have Triad at home Tuesday, Waterloo on the road Wednesday. Decatur St. Teresa comes into town on Friday. They showed them at Spoon for a doubleheader. Rams keeping consistent and keeping their sectional opponents on the schedule. As this will be a pitch that misses high on 0-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to the left fielder, Caleb Booz. Singled his last time. 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. This one could be a Texas leaguer in the center field. That'll drop for a base hit. Here comes Klostermeyer on the RBI single by Booz, and it's 4-2 with Civic. Well, there you go. So 2 runs in the inning leads to a doubled lead now for Civic Memorial, and Tim Holloway is going to break to the mound. This is the mound. It's presented by the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon. Of course, the Medicine Shop, proudly owned and operated by Dr. Eric Black, proudly supporting the Mount Vernon Rams and the local community. You can find our full broadcast schedule, including the Select Lady Rams broadcast, of course, online at WMIXsports.com. Rams have the tradition of trying to keep sectional opponents on the schedule. Of course, they play Waterloo, who knocked them out of the 2011 sectional. They played Mattoon in that same sectional. They didn't quite get there in 2012, and then beat Effingham and Triad last year, and they both play again this year. Of course, in 2010, they had to play Triad and Centralia. Centralia, of course, on the schedule by default, but Rams try to keep a big, beefy schedule and then try to keep opponents from the old South 7, of course, home and home series each year with the Penn Rangers. Of course, West Frankfort, all that remains from that old South 7, of course, on the schedule. Now they play Heron as well, as this will miss high. It'll be 1-0, of course, to Kyle Kirkpatrick. He walked his last time, was stranded on first. Only old South 7 team the Rams don't play, of course, outside of O'Fallon, who left the Southwestern in about 2000, is Harrisburg, and they are on and off the schedule as this 1-0 pitch catches the inside corner for 1-1. Rams should have played the Bulldogs last year on a game at Rentwan Park at Marion, but that one was rained out after everybody had already made the trip. Of course, some severe thunderstorms came through, and understandably so, they went ahead and called it off. As it's 2-1 now, and a pitch that was in the dirt to Kyle Kirkpatrick. He called it off. I think it was more of a threat of severe weather, as a watch had been issued right about the time everybody got to Marion. Of course, the sensitivity was heightened after the 2012 tornado on Leap Day that went through Harrisburg, and nobody wanted to take any chances. 2-1, taking a chance here. Misses outside, 3 balls to strike. Rams trying something new this year as well. They're going to McCracken County on Good Friday and Easter Eve to play 3 games. As the 3-1 will be fouled off, the count full. There's a runner on first, only 1 out. Civic has struck twice here in the bottom half of the third. The Rams will play Memphis U-High in Paducah at 11:15 on Good Friday, followed by a 1:15 matchup. Actually, it's 11:30 and 1:30. Those are pregame times I've given you. As this will be a full count walk of the 1-out variety. Kyle Kirkpatrick, and that'll put 2 aboard again for the Eagles. Anyhow, the Rams Easter week will play Memphis U-High, and then Bartlett also out of Tennessee. Then they'll play Henderson, Kentucky. That's Saturday to wrap up Easter weekend. So not a bad stretch there for Rams baseball, trying to play some tough competition. 1 out, 2 aboard here, bottom of the third inning. Civic on side 4-2. This is a fly ball hit into center field. No problem for Blake Jones on the run. He'll fire it back in, hits his relay man Campbell. And that'll be your second out. So this is bringing Peter Buchanan. He grounded out to second his last time up. 4-2 score. Rams trailing by 2 now after having tied it up in the top half of the inning. Here in the third from Bethalto. WMIX Sports Mobile Studios driven by King City Chrysler. Of course, no appointment necessary when you take care of your service at Express Lane, Fast Oil Changes, and more. Right there at King City Chrysler, 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon. First pitch Buchanan. It's going to be on the inside corner. 0-1 to the right-hander. Civic has 4 runs on 5 hits. 1 error, and they've left 3 aboard thus far. Here in the third, up 4-2 in the dirt. That'll get away, but a good stop by Morgan. Kept it to his left, kept an eye on it, keeps the runners from advancing. So Buchanan digs back in. The count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Weber out at the stretch. The right-hander comes with it. That's going to be a fastball in the dirt, 2-1. It's amazing the rivalries the Rams have kept, of course, over time. They still play Murfreesboro every year. Of course, this is going to be a check on the runner at second. Nothing doing. 2-1 the count, 2 outs. Rams still play Modern Day. Of course, we told you Edwardsville comes off the schedule, so disregard that on WMIXsports.com. My apologies. As a late change to the Rams schedule. 2-1 becomes 3-1, pushed outside by Weber. Buchanan ahead of the count here, the right fielder, of course, for Civic. Roughly about an hour and a half drive from Bethalto to Mount Vernon, roughly. But depends on how many stops you make. Of course, if there's going to be a walk, it'll get past the catcher, but everybody's going to stay put. The bases walked loaded here with 2 outs. Of course, in baseball action, Harrisburg leads El Dorado 9-2 and midway through the 4th inning. Softball, the Annies of Centralia lead West Frankfort heading to the 5th, 2-0. That's a quick look at scores presented by Tony Wilcher, State Farm agent of Mount Vernon. We'll tell you more about it after we get to the top of the order. With the bases loaded and 2 outs, as Melton will take a first pitch inside. And it's 1-0 to the shortstop, Melton. Bases loaded here for Civic. 4-2 ball game. They climb back on top with 2 runs to start the inning. Went into a bit of a lull, but now the bases are loaded with 2 gone and a good chance for Melton, who's walked and popped out. The first and second, respectively. Takes a pitch in the dirt, gets ahead here, 2 balls, no strikes. See if Weber can get himself out of a jam. 4-2 score here in the bottom of the third, and this pitch will catch the outside corner. Great location that time, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. We're on the Twitterverse at WMIX Sports. We hope you'll give us a follow. Things will be back to normal with that. Just having somewhat of an issue trying to connect. Too long. It'll be a ground ball right back to Weber. He'll go to his first choice of first base, and now they'll retire the side. So Civic strands the bases loaded, but they had a pair more. It's 4-2 Eagles. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
People's National Bank makes purchasing a home easy. Hi, this is Joy Schrader, mortgage specialist from People's National Bank. Visit peoplesnationalbank.com to fill out an online application 24/7, and you will be on your way to owning your own home. If you have any questions, give me, Joy Schrader, a call at 241-6928.
People's National Bank, your home for home loans. Proudly serving Southern Illinois since 1909. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Loans subject to credit approval.
Bad credit, no problem. Auto Mart of Salem is here to help. Auto Mart of Salem is your local shop here, pay here headquarters. Quality cars, vans, SUVs, and trucks in stock now. All credit applications are accepted. Shop here and pay here at Auto Mart of Salem, 1819 West Main, Salem, Illinois. Shop online at automartofsalem.com or call us at 618-548-8611.
This is Mount Vernon Rams Baseball, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
And we welcome you back to the Bethalto Sports Complex. The Civic Memorial Eagles have a 4-2 lead over the Mount Vernon Rams as we head to the top of the fourth. It'll be Aaron Morgan, Derek Hayes, Reed Millwood. Unless we see any changes to Tim Holloway's lineup, we see Tom Fulkerson talking it over with the home plate umpire, so this could be anybody's guess. We just check the scorebook to make sure things are accurate. Don't see any changes for the Eagles, of course, defensively. Everything looks normal. New catcher, how could I have missed that? Wow. So we do have a new catcher into the game.
Off the Rams.
Wow. By process of elimination, I'm going to assume that's Corey Howard behind the plate. He is 6'3", 240, and looks every bit of it. If he has not played football, that is a shame. I'm told he's not. Wow. Aaron Morgan leads it off for the Rams, and he'll check his swing, and that's in the dirt. Should be 1-0. Unbelievable. Pitch on the way from Beckham's going to be high. 2 balls, no strikes to Aaron Morgan. Of course, Corey Howard, 6'3", 240. Replaces Brock Huber, who's on the opposite end of the spectrum at 5'7", 135. So how I did not notice that is beyond me. But Beckham gets set. Here comes the pitch on the way, and this is going to catch right over the plate. 2-1 as he battles back into the count. Community First Bank of the Heartland is the official voice of Rams Athletics. WMIX, WMIXsports.com. We'll tell you more about the one account after this first pitch from hole number 1, the pitcher. Ground ball to third. Should be a problem. Holtkamp fires across the diamond in time. 5-3 is your first down. Of course, Brett Beckham wears number 1. Of course, that Community First Bank 1 means free checking and high-yield interest. It means a little bit more. Community First Bank, welcome back to personal banking. Member FDIC. So Beckham will stand in. Oh, the rubber. As Derek Hayes stands in the right-handed batter's box for the Rams. 1 out, nobody on here. Top 4 trailing 4-2, and he'll whiff. String pulled that time. And it's 0-1. Nice crowd here at the Sports Complex with Bethalto. Rams fans typically travel well. Nice congregation of folks there past the right field fence. As the 0-1 pitch misses low, it looks like. 1 ball, 1 strike. Beckham out of the windup will fire. Here comes the pitch from the lefty right across the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hayes. Millwood and Brookman to follow here in the inning. We'll see Brookman, should these two, Hayes or Millwood, keep it alive. 1-2 coming. Pitch on the way outside. Check swing in the dirt. It'll be 2-2 as things even up in the count. Near the bottom of the hour, we'll take care of that momentarily. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on WMIX, WMIXsports.com, and giving us a follow on Twitter and a follow on Facebook. Or a like, even. Hayes is going to back out of the box, call time. Beckham took a little bit longer that time. Trying to get the sign from his new catcher, Corey Howard. Pitch in route. Here it comes. That's going to be high. Ooh. Dip there at the end when the bottom fell out, but it'll be a full count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch on the way, make or break. Ooh, right over the plate. Uncle Charlie, and it froze Hayes. It'll be a backwards K, and we'll bring in Millwood with 2 on and nobody out. We'll pause for station identification. This is Rams Radio.
WMIX Sports is WMIX Mount Vernon and all of Southern Illinois. This is Mount Vernon Rams Baseball, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
Brings in Millwood on the first pitch. He sees and sends a base hit into right field. To get away from the right fielder, Buchanan. Millwood's on his horse for second. Going to head around to third, but Tim Holloway's going to keep him at second base. And that'll be a 2-out double by Millwood. So the sophomore steps up, and Reed Millwood has a nice piece of hitting work for the 5'10 sophomore. And that'll bring in Zach Brookman, who walked and scored his last time. Rams trail 4-2. Of course, 4 runs, 5 hits, but 6 stranded for Civic. Should be 2 runs. 2 runs, I believe, on 3 hits for the Rams, who are stranded 4. Pitch is going to come inside and just miss to the right-handed Brookman. He'll get ahead here 1-0. 4-pitch walk his last time up. And now Howard, the catcher, is going to have a talk with his pitcher. Miss Hugo with you. Danny Zerwinski is on assignment. Quentin Lloyd and Avery Barton back at our Mount Vernon studios. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Swung on a miss. Brookman. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the 4th inning, 4-2 ball game. Civic been in control most of the afternoon. Runner on second for the Rams and 2 outs. And right now, the catcher, Howard, and the pitcher, Beckham, are going to talk things over again. But Brookman will dig back in. Of course, Zach Brookman is a junior. He's 5'9". That's right, throws right. Beckham gets set. Pitch on the way, and this is going to be fouled off over the first base dugout out of play. It's 1-2. Millwood double to put himself in scoring position. Of course, had the wheels turning to try to get to third, but Tim Holloway held him up. It's probably a good decision. So now Beckham out of the stretch will come. The lefty's offering is going to be swung on a miss. And that'll get Civic out of the inning as the Rams get a base hit but strand a runner. It's 4-2, Bethalto through 3.5. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
How can we keep the people we love safe and secure in their own home? Let the Medicine Shop's home medical equipment team help you with all your mobility and specialty product needs. They provide mobility products like motorized scooters, wheelchairs, and home stair lifts. The Medicine Shop's expertly trained staff can also provide car and van lift installations, and they offer a full service repair facility for medical equipment, whether you purchased it from them or somewhere else. Here's pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black.
We service a 60-mile radius area, so a pretty wide area. We service orders from several area hospitals, and we have the staff in place that really sets us apart. We have 3 respiratory therapists and 2 seating specialists to help with seating on wheelchair and power chair needs. And we just feel that we have the staff and the warehousing and the facilities in place to really set us apart from any of our competitors in the area.
The Medicine Shop Pharmacy, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
Follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. This is Mount Vernon Rams Baseball.
Civic Memorial send up 2, 3, and 4 here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. They're on top 4-2. It'll be the pitcher, Brett Beckham. Jansen Holtzkamp, the third baseman. Ben Walker, the first baseman. Very productive part of the Eagle lineup. Right now, Weber will fire the first pitch of the inning as a strike down the middle. Beckham looks it into the mid of Aaron Morgan. No signs of changes defensively for Tim Holloway. It's still Brookman, Jones, Gines in the outfield left to right as Weber's 0-1 pitch will quickly turn into 1-1 in the dirt. Derek Hayes, Ryan Campbell, Reed Millwood, Jake Pike from third to first. And, of course, the catcher is Aaron Morgan. 1-1. Ooh, just catches the plate. Good height. 1-2 here to the pitcher Beckham. Aaron Morgan's a sophomore. 5'11". He'll do some catching and some pitching. As the 1-2 is a wild pitch that gets away. It'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tyler Morgan, of course, the other Morgan on the Ram roster, pitched to Jim yesterday. Got the Rams an 8-3 win. Rams right now being doubled up by Civic. Ground ball, right side of the infield for the left-handed batter Beckham. Bellwood picks it up, fires over to Jake Pike, 4-3. Of course, Fulkerson, the 6'6", 155-pounder, got the start to open the year at Salem. They didn't get the decision, and the Rams lost. They fell 6-4 to the Wildcats. Used to be about a late April game. Got moved to the opening game of the year. Wildcats playing the Apollo Conference and had the River-to-River Mississippi Panthers yesterday. As this will be a high ball, fastball to well out of the zone to Jansen Holtkamp. He sacrificed and then struck out. So Weber out of the windup where he's been most effective has the 1-0 offering on the way. And this is off the end of the bat into right field. Not much trouble for Zach Gine. Still make the grab 2 away. So the Rams hoping the even-numbered innings are kind. The second inning went 1, 2, 3, and right now 2 outs and nobody on. But in will step in Walker, who was unintentionally and intentionally walked his last time. He scored. He had a 2 RBI triple in the first. Rams got to do something to try to get this batter out. Tony Wilt's your State Farm agent in Mount Vernon. Find him online at TonyWilt.com. Look for his office in the corner of 42nd and South Watertown in Mount Vernon. We'll try to find the white State Farm people around town and get you a better state. As the first pitch is low and away, it was in the dirt to Ben Walker. He's ahead of the count here. 1 ball, no strikes. Klostermeyer on deck. Having a pretty good day at the plate as well. Next pitch catches the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. The left-handed Walker. There's a nice, effortless, fluid swing. Makes pretty good cuts. We'll see what you get on the 1-1. Outside again, catches the outside corner for 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good placement that time for Tommy Webb. Next one in around is going to be well outside. Trying not to give him anything to mash, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 gone, bases empty here in the bottom of the 4th, a 4-2 ball game. Eagles lead the Rams. Jones shading slightly towards right field with the left-handed batter, and this one is going to be up the middle for a base hit. So a 2-out single for Walker will bring in Klostermeyer. That's not what you wanted for the Rams. The Rams team, of course, who has back-to-back-to-back games over the Mississippi Valley Conference. After Civic today, it's Triad Tuesday on the road at Waterloo on Wednesday. DC and I back together for sure on Tuesday. Should be there Wednesday. I know Chad Baker's making the trip to Almy on Thursday for Lady Rams softball. As the first pitch misses up, 1-0. Of course, Friday we'll have Decatur St. Teresa coming to town for baseball. And then a Rams baseball doubleheader at Mattoon on Saturday, and that's about the next week or so. No spring coverage here on WMIX, WMIXsports.com. 2-0 now, and another high pitch with 2 out and a runner aboard first base for the Eagles. He's going to use the pun, but decided against it here. The 2-0 comes in the dirt, 3-0. Brian Reynolds tuned in. Glad to have him. He says, let's go Rams baseball. 3-0 the count. 2 gone. Hitters count for the DH, Klostermeyer. Pitcher Thomas Weber trying to work himself out of what could become a jam if this batter's able to get aboard. It's going to come inside, and it would be a 4-pitch walk. So it's Ramp Caleb Booz. He's 2 for 2 today with a run batted in. He had an RBI single back in the 3rd. So 2 outs and 2 aboard. Civic looking to strike again. Weber out of the stretch. Pitch is going to come, and it's going to be golf shot through the right side. Could it score a run? Walker's going to be waved around. Giants will come up through, and it'll be cut off by Pike. And it is 5-2 on the RBI single by Caleb Booz. And just when the Rams are starting to show signs of maybe plugging the gap, something happens that takes an unfortunate turn. Tim Holloway is going to make a visit here to the Hill. It's presented by the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon. Dr. Eric Black and staff proud to support the Rams, the Lady Rams, and the local community. We're going to have a new Ram pitcher, maybe. Whoever was headed towards the dugout, I would assume, to get his catching gear on. Because if you do take him out, you don't want to lose the bat. We'll have a change in pitchers. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll get you set on the new Ram lineup. We'll 4-2, make it 5-2. Civic Memorial here in the fourth inning with 2 on and 2 out. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
Backaches, bad hips, rickety knees? Why not try aquatic therapy? The Red Lake College Aquatic Center has more than a swimming pool. Try a 6-lane, 75-foot lap pool, along with a whirlpool 10 feet in diameter and a 10-foot by 20 hydrotherapy pool. Aquatic therapy is very affordable. In many cases, the tuition is waived entirely. With special access and dressing areas for the elderly and physically challenged, getting in the water is easy. Experts are on hand to assist with various areas of aquatic fitness and rehab. Call 437-5321 extension 1207 or visit rlc.edu.
Find us on Facebook. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
And we welcome you back here on WMIX, WMIXsports.com. The new pitcher, the new hurler, will be 6-foot junior Braden Smith. Looks not quite yet close on Thomas Weber. He went 4 2/3 right now. 5 walks, 2 strikeouts. Will give it 7 hits. You can't add any more of those, but these runners aboard belong to Weber. Not sure if he's putting the catching gear on or not. Aaron Morgan remains behind the plate. If you think Morgan was coming out, you would think that maybe a Tom Fulkerson or somebody would finish the warm-up pitches. So that could be all she wrote for Weber. So for Braden Smith, he'll inherit 2 aboard. The first and second are the runners with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Of course, Weber can reemerge in the lineup if Smith is taking his place in the batting order. He can come in, just has to re-enter there. That'll bring in Cal Kirkpatrick. He is the center fielder for the Eagles. See if Braden Smith can come on in relief and get the final out of the inning. Pitched quite a bit for Scott Gamber and Denny Clark on the JV team. And now out of the stretch, his first pitch will be a breaking pitch in the dirt. It just... What? Maybe some signs got crossed there as catcher and pitcher will have it talk. The count should be 1 ball, no strikes. With 2 outs here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Right now, 5 runs, 7 hits, and 6 left on base for Civic Memorial. Out of the stretch, here comes Smith, misses high. Patrick gets ahead here, 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs in the inning. Has an RBI opportunity with runners on first and second. 2 outs here in the bottom half of this fourth inning. On top, 5-2 are the Eagles. Looking to add some more with a base hit. Inside it'll come. It's 3 balls, no strikes. All the runs to Thomas Weber at the moment are earned. Smith trying to close out the inning and get the book closed. And this is going to work. You've got to be kidding me. The old cut play by the Rams, as we like to call it sometimes, to fish out of water. The feigned throw, acting like it got away in the outfield, and it actually works. And Smith will run up to the runner, Klostermeyer, and apply the tag. Oh, my. 5-2, Civic through 4. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
If you've been trying to buy a car with a challenging credit history, you've discovered that it can be discouraging. But there is good news. I mean really good news. Not all buy here, pay here dealerships are the same. Second Chance Auto really is different. For 34 years, Second Chance Auto has guaranteed to give you the best value for every dollar you spend. Listen, did you know that at some dealerships, if you buy an $8,000 vehicle with minimal down, it could end up costing you $2,000 more? At Second Chance Auto, they'll explain how you can save more on the total cost of your vehicle. No surprises, just honest deals, bank rate financing for all, and a truly dependable vehicle with the best value for your hard-earned dollar. This tax season, use your refund where it will go the farthest. Let Second Chance Auto earn your business and your trust. You won't be disappointed. Second Chance Auto, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Call today, 244-4582.
WMIX Sports is your home for the Mount Vernon Rams, powered by Community First Bank.
And we welcome you back, WMIX, WMIXsports.com. Chris Hugo with you, Danny Zerwinski on assignment, Avery Bart, Quentin Lloyd back at our Mount Vernon studio. We head to the top of the fifth inning, 5-2. Civic Memorial on top. It'll be 1, 2, and 3 due up with Ryan Campbell, Blake Jones, and Jake Pike. Here in the Ram lineup. Of course, the book closed on Weber with 4 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, 5 walks, and 2 strikeouts for the Rams senior. See if Ryan Campbell can get the offense ignited. Reached on an error unofficially his last time up. Single back in the first. Campbell's been a nice offensive spark in this lineup at the top of the order. If he's a catalyst here, he'll call time and back out of the box, take a few cuts. And he'll take a first pitch low for a ball. It's 1-0 to Ryan Campbell here in the top of the fifth. He gets it started. Rim Lake College offers over 100 degree and certificate programs for thousands less. See which is right for you at rlc.edu. Campbell checks his swing on a high fastball. 2-0 the count. He leads us off in the top of the fifth inning. Rams down 3. It's 5-2. Of course, RLC powers our video streaming. It returns in football season next year. The Rams and the Taylorville, I believe the Tornadoes. To think on that. Of course, they'll be in the Apollo Conference next year as it's fouled off. First base dugout. 2-1 for Campbell. Following are Blake Jones and Jake Pike here in the top half of this fifth inning. Another pitch that misses low. 3 balls and a strike. Hitters count to Ryan Campbell. Where's number 13? A lot of guys like that number. This is going to be a high fastball into right field on the run. The right fielder's not going to get to it. Buchanan. This will be Campbell around first, headed for second, and it'll be a leadoff double for Ryan. Second Chance Auto in Mount Vernon has a vehicle to meet your needs and your budget. There's a reason Second Chance has been around for 34 years. They offer the largest selection in one location. No fancy sales gimmicks, no pressure. Just honest deals on great vehicles. The Bakery financing available for all. That's Second Chance Auto on Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. See for yourself. 5-2 ball game. Rams have a runner in scoring position for Blake Jones with nobody out at the top of the fifth. The pitch from the left. He is going to be lifted in the left center field on the run. Booz will make a nice grab. Tagging is Campbell heading to third base, and he'll be safe. A nice sack fly there by Blake Jones. He's tried to help manufacture today. He showed bunt a few times in his first plate appearance. Now we'll bring in Jake Pike with an RBI chance. He had a ground-out RBI his last time up. It tied the game then at 2, but since then, 3 unanswered runs from Civic Memorial. Eagles having a pretty good day. Of course, always tough baseball in the Mississippi Valley. Of course, had the state champion in Highland back in 08, and Jake Boderisi, as this will be a check swing. First pitch in the dirt. The bottom fell out from under it. Call to the strike on Pike, and it's 0-1 with the runner on third base. 1 out here in the top of the fifth inning. Speaking of 5, Community First Bank has 5 Jefferson County branches. By far the market leader, Mount Vernon, Dix, Woodlawn, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking as we await the 0-1. Here it comes. Beckham's pitch on the way in the dirt this time. Flink goes through the 5-hole to catcher Howard. But kept it in front. So it just evens the count at 1-1, and staying put at third base is Ryan Campbell. Lefty batter Pike has an RBI chance. Pitches on the way right down the middle. That's 1-2 to Jake. Jake was recently named All-South 7 honorable mention on the boys basketball side. Brady Fitzgerald made the first team. Of course, he would be a great baseball player. Very talented athlete. Shakari Hawkins was also All-South 7 honorable mention. Right back up the middle for Pike on 1-2, and this will make it 5-3 on the RBI single for Jake, who's starting to find his bat. So the RBI single makes it 5-3, and the Rams are back within 2 at the tying run at the plate. As Braden Smith is going to bat for himself. Of course, he'll start the game with the DH. So Smith, who enters for Weber. Weber was 1 for 1. He was intentionally walked back in the third. And now Smith a chance to help what becomes his cause. First pitch seen by Braden will be popped up foul, first base side. Could be trouble. Shifts back to near fair territory, and a good grab by Walker off balance. So just like that, 2 outs now for Zach Gines. Gines has hit the ball hard today. Singled in the second, grounded out to short on a hard hit ball back in the third. And now Gines will stand in. Again, the tie-in run at the plate. Down 5-3 here, top 5. 2 outs and a runner on first. Zach was pitched pretty well today. Got himself out of trouble when he finds it, which isn't often. As he'll fire one right down. Must have cut across the plate and got outside at some point. But keywords there, cut across the plate. So it's 1-0. Interesting. So 1 ball, no strikes here to Zach Gines. Runner on first base, 2 outs. Still whiff at this, and it's 1-1. Give it a good college try on a high fastball, but it's 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. 5-3 game. Eagles on top trying to keep the lead with the tying run at the plate. Beckham eyes the runner at first base, and now almost has his head taken off on a line drive up the middle. See Giants starting to hit the ball hard. Found a swing here today. Tim Holloway wanted to give him another chance in the lineup. And right now, Tim and Quinn both probably glad they have. This will bring up Aaron Morgan. Of course, we're going to have another visit to the mound. This time it's Civic's turn. 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Tying run on first base in a 5-3 ball game. This visit to the mound is presented by the Medicine Shop Pharmacy at 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon. Dr. Eric Black and staff proud to support the local community as well as the Rams and Lady Rams and all local teams. So we'll have a conference at the mound, but right now, again, it's 5-3. Civic on top. Rams are down a pair of runs here in the top of the 5th inning. We'll see if we have any other scores coming in. Last check, Harrisburg was all over El Dorado in the middle of the 4th inning, 9-2, as we're back to the action. Andes were leading West Frankfort 2-0 in the 5th in softball. Right here at Civic, it's a 2-run lead for the Eagles, but the tying run on first base for the Rams. We're going to have time called. Morgan will step out of the box. That scoreboard update presented by Tony Wilt, your State Farm agent in Mount Vernon. Find them online at TonyWilt.com or try to find the white State Farm Jeep around town. First pitch. Inside, near the buttocks of Morgan. It'll be 1-0. Follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. We're on Facebook as well. Pitch in round on 1-0. Ooh, looks like it would even things up, but it misses low. 2 balls, no strikes here to Aaron Morgan. Popped up to second, grounded out to third. That was back in the 2nd and 4th. Here he gets an at-bat. And any number 5 with a chance to maybe get another run across the plate with runners on first and second. 2-0. Now make it 2-1. That was a good pitch. Aaron Morgan will stand in against the lefty Beckham. 2-1 the count. 2 gone. 2 aboard here for the Rams down 2. 5-3 scores. This is going to be hit the opposite way to the second baseman. Off with the glove, and that'll be an error. They're going to hold up the runner at third base, and the E4 will allow the bases loaded on the second error today for Civic. So now the bases are loaded for Derek Hayes. Hayes will stand in the box. Bases, of course, loaded for the Rams. Amazing RBI opportunity for Hayes. He's 0 for 2. Beckham gets set. Here comes the pitch on the way, and this will be fouled off. Good cut there by Derek Hayes. He falls behind 0-1. Baseball and softball seasons are here, but what about your corporate season? Make the call to the bullpen for Winning Edge's high-quality embroidered apparel to equip your employee team in style. Winning Edge, downtown Mount Vernon. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and this one is going to be roped into center on the run. Will have to be Kirkpatrick. He'll back up to make the grab. And the Rams strand the bases loaded here in the fifth. It's 5-3 Civic through 4.5. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
Raise your hand if you're tired of showing up for a service appointment only to sit around a waiting room. Hi, Roy Schmidt, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer at King City Chrysler Center. Our express lane fast oil changes and more provide quick, convenient service with no appointment needed. Our specialists are on hand to wait on you with lanes dedicated just for your oil changes, tire rotation, brake inspections, batteries, bulbs, wiper blades, air filter replacements, and more. We will also perform complimentary vehicle inspection with every oil change. We work around your schedule, open weekdays from 7:30 until 5 and Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon. See Express Lane Fast Oil Changes and more for all of your service needs, and we will get you back on the road quick. We're located at King City Chrysler Center at 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon, Illinois. Just another reason you can count on us.
Broadcasting live from the WMIX Sports Mobile Studios, driven by Ford Square. This is Mount Vernon Rams Baseball.
And we welcome you back to the Bethalto Sports Complex, where the Civic Memorial Eagles have a 5-3 lead as we head to the bottom half of the fifth inning. It'll be Kyle Kirkpatrick, Jake Myers, and Peter Buchanan, barring any changes to the lineup here in the home half of the fifth inning. Of course, Kirkpatrick had a 3-0 count in his favor when the Rams basically ran the famous pickoff play off the second. And ended the inning and the threat. So Kirkpatrick gets another chance. Of course, had that 3-0 count. Braden Smith is back out for another inning of work. He'll try to limit the damage here in the fifth inning. Community First Bank, home of one checking. Always bank on your hometown team with Community First Bank locally in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dixon, Ina. Welcome back to personal banking. Here comes the first pitch. Kirkpatrick, he'll foul it back toward the JV field and falls behind 0-1. Oh, 1 coming. That is going to miss outside. It'll be 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes on the way from Smith, high and tight. 2 balls and a strike to Kirkpatrick. Myers and Buchanan on deck for the Eagles, who have a 5-3 lead. Rams back in action Tuesday. Take a few days off. As the 2-1 comes, this will be fouled back. It'll even things up at 2-2. Lady Rams start Saturday at the Fairfield Frozen Tournament. They will have the Heron Lady Tigers at 9:30. Chad Baker will have to call it with a 9:20 pregame. They'll have all 2 or 3 games from that tournament for the Lady Rams, depending upon how far they go. The 2-2 counts high and tight again to the right-hander Kirkpatrick. It's a full count. He's worked the count full in his prior 2 plate appearances. This is his 3rd consecutive. He walked the 2 times prior. We'll see what he does here, number 3. He'll get hit. Either way, he was going to first base, and this time he took it on the cushion. And they'll have a runner aboard here again, this time in the bottom of the 5th with no outs for Jake Myers. Myers 0 for 2 today, struck out, flew out. As we wait the first pitch from Smith, Myers shows bunt, had it up in the air, but a good bunt down the first base side off the mound. Smith fires over to first base where Millwood covers. 1-4 is your sacrifice, and advances for Patrick in a scoring position. So 1 out, and a runner on second base here for the Eagles. The WMIX Sports Mobile Studios are driven by Ford Square, 1501 Broadway in Mount Vernon. Find them online and view all of their inventory at FordSquare.com. Right-hander Smith set out of the stretch with the runner leading off second base. Here comes the pitch inside, catches some sort of corner, and it's 0-1. Weber started the game with 4 2/3. And right now, Smith on in relief. Down 2 are the Rams. A run in scoring position here for Civic. Up 5-3. 0-1 to count. 1 gone. This one right in the left field. On the run is Brookman, and this one's going to get to the fence. 1 run will score. Buchanan on the run as Myers crosses the plate, and he decides to stop at second base for an RBI double. Back to the top of the order we go, and it'll be Connor Melton. He walked and scored back at the first. Hasn't done much since. But now has an RBI chance, of course, as we'll have a pinch runner for Buchanan, like Ryan Knoll. That'll bring in Connor Melton. 6-3 ball game. Civic doubling up the Rams here, home half of the 5th. Pitch in round, and this is going to be in the right field for a base hit. Are they going to try to bring in the runner? No, they're going to hold him to third base. Good throw by Giants. It'll be runners at the corners. On the base hit here in the 5th by Melton. And that'll bring up Beckham, the pitcher. So Beckham stands in. Of course, Melton got another base hit, trying to keep this hitting craze going here in the 5th inning. Rams, of course, will set up 8-9-1 to counter in the 6th. Right now, Braden Smith trying to work out his first jam of the year. Out of the stretch will come the right-hander, left-handed batter in the box, the pitcher Beckham, outside. It'll be 1-0. Smith eyes the catcher for the sign. The catcher, of course, Aaron Morgan. 1-0 is the count on the batter Beckham. Runners at the corners, 1 out here in the 5th. And this will be tapped foul. It'll be 1-1. 5 Jefferson County branches are responsible quality service for all of your accounts. Community First Bank would like to be the first to say, welcome back to Personal Banking, member FDIC. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 gone. Runners at the corners here for the Eagles. Here comes the pitch on the way. The misses high, 2 balls and a strike. They just crossed the top of the hour. We'll take care of that in just a moment. 2 balls, 1 strike to a board here. Bottom of the 5th inning, a 6-3 ball game. The Rams trying to limit the damage here in the Civic 5th. Smith, the runner at third, is where his eyes meet. Here comes the pitch on the way. The miss is high. 3-1. Smith now trying to get the sign from the catcher Morgan. Lefty pitcher Beckham trying to work a walk or a base hit. Fouls it off over the third base dugout. The count will be full. 6-3 your score here. If you're just joining us, WMIX, WMIXsports.com. Rams Baseball is presented by Community First Bank, your community, your choice, your bank. 5 locations and friends and neighbors on staff who understand your needs. Community First Bank keeps it simple. Welcome back to Personal Banking, and welcome back to a gapper. Left center field is where this one's going to drop. 1 run will score. Beckham on the tail of Melton, and they'll settle for second and third on the RBI double by Brett Beckham. It is past the top of the hour. We'll pause for station identification. This is Rams Radio.
WMIX Sports is WMIX Mount Vernon and all of Southern Illinois. This is Mount Vernon Rams Baseball, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
7-3 now the score. 2 runs across the plate here in the 5th inning. And the Eagles have soared to a 4-run lead with 2 on and 1 out. The runners are in scoring position for Jansen Holtkamp, who is 0 for 2 today. He sacrificed back in the first, struck out, flew out. And now can push a couple more across the plate as Tim Holloway is going to come out to talk to Braden Smith. This visit to the mound is presented by the Medicine Shop Pharmacy at 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon. Dr. Eric Black and staff proudly support the local community as well as Rams and Lady Rams Athletics. We'll see if we get a change in pitcher here, if it's just a conversation to try to settle things down. Second Chance Auto, another of our great Rams sponsors. Been around for 34 years, plenty of reasons why. How about the largest selection of pre-owned vehicles priced at $10,000 in one location, bank rate financing for all, or maybe it's the fact there's no fancy sales or gimmicks. Just honest deals at Second Chance Auto, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Tim Holloway having that conversation with Smith, I think just trying to buy time for the pitcher out of the bullpen to get ready. And we're going to have a pitching change here. Yeah, that's all. So we'll take a break, come back, get you set for the new pitcher. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. By now you have heard about our new One Checking product. The new One Account is a high-interest earning, free checking account designed for everyone. Unlike other banks that pay interest on higher balance, this account pays interest on all balances. From high schoolers to Warren Buffett, One will work for you. You can talk to one of us at 244-3000 and learn about the details. One, exclusively at Community First Bank. You will be one happy customer. Member FDIC.
I'm meteorologist Dave Bowers. We'll look at your next round weather. A clear sky tonight, a low of 38. Tomorrow becoming breezy and warmer with a good deal of sunshine, a high of 70. Tomorrow night, a few spots seeing a brief evening shower. Otherwise, some cloudiness, a low 41. Saturday will be cooler. Times of clouds and sunshine with a high of 55. And the outlook for Sunday, colder with clouds and sunshine. High temperature on Sunday, only 41. Next round weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Broadcasting live from the WMIX Sports Mobile Studios. Driven by King City Chrysler. This is Mount Vernon Rams Baseball.
And welcome you back to the Bethalto Sports Complex. Dalton Beck will be your new pitcher, the 6'2 junior. Comes in for Braden Smith, who went 2/3 of an inning, allowed 3 hits. This tally not done yet. Right now stands to have allowed 2 runs, 2 earned. But still responsible for the guys in scoring position. Runners on second and third, 1 out now for Jansen Holtkamp and the Civic Memorial Eagles. So glad to have you with us. WMIX, WMIXSports.com. I'm Chris Hugo. Danny Zerwinski is on assignment. Let's see what we got. After 6, Pinckneyville leads Heron on the softball diamond 4-3. They've come back from, well, they've led 3-0. My apologies. Heron's come back. Wayne City in softball beating Alvarado 2-1. I got the other way around. Alvarado beat Wayne City 2-1. All that from the Twitterverse. You can follow us at WMIX Sports. Umpire going to have a conversation with the junior hurler. Throws right-handed. It'll be a righty-righty matchup here as Tim Holloway goes to the bullpen for a second time today. Out of the stretch will come the junior pitcher. Pitch on the way is going to be tomahawk through the left side of the infield. 1 run will score. Here comes the second runner to hold him at third. It'll be an RBI single for Holtkamp, and that's going to bring up the dangerous Ben Walker. And the hit parade continues for Civic Memorial here, with 3 runs having crossed in the inning. And, of course, this runner on third still belongs to Braden Smith. Ben Walker, the lefty, has reached base 3 times today. He had a 2 RBI triple to bust it open in the first. He walked and scored the third of the intentional variety. And, of course, singled and scored back in the fourth. Scored 2 of his 3 times on base. Here comes the pitch on the way. Beck goes for the breaking pitch and misses up. That was dangerous, 1-0. Our video streaming returns in August. Mount Vernon Rams football is presented by Red Lake College. As the pitch catches the outside corner, well located that time to even things up at 1-1. Red Lake College can save you thousands on your college education. See how to play online at rlc.edu. Ben Walker, the lefty, with runners at the corners and 1 gone here in the bottom of the 5th, takes it outside. Should be 2 balls and a strike here to Walker with the DH Klostermeyer on deck. Beck will look in, likes the sign. This one's going to be fouled back. Reaching was Walker, and that'll even things up at 2-2. Time calls Walker. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. 1 out here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. 8-3 is the score. Here comes another one on the way. Catches the inside corner, and Dalton Peck's the only one who's been able to get Ben Walker out today. That'll be his first strikeout. That'll bring up Klostermeyer. Klostermeyer's had a pretty good day. That RBI triple he had back in the 3rd. And since then, it's pretty well been out of reach for the Rams. Trailing by 5 runs here in the bottom of the 5th. Beck gets set. Here it comes. Klostermeyer just gets a piece of it. It's a foul ball. And it'll be 0-1. Klostermeyer wants a piece of Beck. Jones playing a little bit deeper in straightaway center field. Infield at double play depth, and here comes the pitch on the way as it misses high. It'll be 1-1. Who's on deck? Now there's been the enigma today. 3 of 3 today. Has a couple of runs batted in. Now 2-1 on a pitch in the dirt from Dalton Beck. Beck came on in relief of Braden Smith, who relieved Thomas Weber. Trying to close out the inning. Not allow any more runs across the plate. All the runs, at least this one does. This is going to be an RBI single, at least for Klostermeyer. Able to get there is Brookman. Now the book is closed on Braden Smith. It's now 9-3 on the RBI single by Klostermeyer. Booze 3 of 3 with a pair of runs batted in. Unbelievable. 2 outs, 9-3 ball game, 6-run deficit facing the Rams. First pitch on the way to the lefty. Booze is a strike. It's 0-1. Nothing to 1 to count the Booze. 2 on, 1 out. He'll take it inside. It's low. It's 1-0. Made that 1-1. Can't forget about the first pitch they had bat, Hugo. Community First Bank of the Heartland is the official voice of Rams and Lady Rams Athletics. 5 Jefferson County branches respond to quality service for all of your accounts. The 1-1 pitch misses outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Booze. They batted around here in the 5th. Pitch on the way from back comes inside. That's going to bounce away. It's a wild pitch. Gets past Morgan. He can't see it. They're going to go ahead and come around to score. The lead runner. Nobody helping the catcher, Morgan, find the ball. And it's now 10-3 Eagles. As Oldcamp managed to get around the bases and swipe 2, and now to third base goes Klostermeyer. And Booze will stand there with a 3-1 count, 2 outs and a runner on third. 10-3 Eagles on top. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be a walk to Booze. So he's reached base all 4 times today, and his runners at the corners. Kirkpatrick led off the inning hit by a pitch. He came around to score. Book closes on Braden Smith. 2/3 of an inning pitch, 3 hits, 4 runs, all 4 earned. No walks, no strikeouts. Now Dalton Beck gets Kyle Kirkpatrick for the second time in the inning. With runners at the corners, again, 2 outs here. 10-3 ball game. First pitch inside corner for a strike. Somebody's going to have to close it out here in this 5th inning for the Rams. Pitch in round, here it comes, and this is going to be a nice pitch inside 4-0 to Tudor Kirkpatrick, who's walked twice and been hit once. We're on Twitter at WMIX Sports. Hope you give us a follow as the 0-2 pitch comes. It turned on a little too quickly, fouled it off at the third base batting cages. Stays 0-2 here to Kyle Kirkpatrick. Myers in the on-deck circle for the Eagles. Runners at the corners. Rams down a touchdown. It's 10-3. Dalton Beck gets set out of the stretch. Righty looks in. Sitting up inside is Morgan, and it'll come well outside as it gets away. Fouled off. WMIX Sports Mobile Studios, driven by Ford Square, 1501 Broadway in Mount Vernon. Schedule your service appointments online at fordsquare.com. That's simple. It's not simple. It's trying to figure out the Civic batting order with runners at the corners, 2 outs. It's a bender on the inside corner, and that'll do it for the inning. So finally, the Rams get out of the inning, surrendering 5 runs and trailing 10-3. We'll come back to the top of the 6th. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
With the housing market picking up and rates still low, now's the perfect time to purchase a home of your dreams. Hi, this is Joy Schrader, mortgage specialist from People's National Bank. People's National Bank has several different programs to choose from to help get you in the home of your dreams. Stop by and see me, Joy Schrader, or apply online at peoplesnationalbank.com today.
People's National Bank, serving Southern Illinois since 1909, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Loan subject to credit approval.
Your future is calling. With a GED test and some help from Rend Lake College, you can answer the call. The current test expires at the end of 2013, and your scores will expire too if you don't finish and pass the test by then. Don't feel prepared? Don't worry, we can help. Visit finishtheged.com to learn more. Don't miss the chance to turn one small step into your next big opportunity, like college, a better job, and the respect you deserve. Finish your GED by the end of 2013. Questions? Call Rend Lake College's Adult Education and Literacy Department today at 437-5321.
Broadcasting live from the WMIX Sports Mobile Studios, driven by Ford Square. This is Mount Vernon Rams Baseball.
And we welcome you back to Bethalto Sports Complex. Here as we head to the top of the 6th, the Mount Vernon Rams trail the Eagles 10-3. New pitcher is Zach Cato. Cato, of course, is 6 foot, 175 pounds, a junior. Spent some time in the outfield. We also have a change in right field as Ryan Null takes over. Everybody else looks to be roughly the same. 5 runs in that bottom half of the 5th. Extend the Civic lead to 7. Wow. Rams are back at it Tuesday against Triad, Wednesday, of course, Waterloo. You can find our full broadcast schedule at WMIXsports.com. Every pitch of Rams baseball is right here. Chris Hugo with you. Quentin Lloyd back at our Mount Vernon studio. DC on assignment today. Pitch on the way. It's going to bounce around. It's a wild pitch. It'll be 1-0 to Reed Millwood, who leads us off, followed by Zach Brookman and Ryan Campbell. As we wait the 1-0 on the way, it was batted at. It'll be a foul ball. 1-1 for Rito Burrito. Follow us on Twitter. So should you at WMIX Sports. Find us on Facebook. City First Bank of the Heartland. Always bank on your hometown team. Mount Vernon, Dix, Woodlawn, and Ina. Never one far away in Jefferson County. Ask about one checking, free checking, high yield interest. Next pitch on the way, misses low and away. It'll be 2-1. Back and win all 5 innings up until this point for the Eagles. Stands to be the winner. Cannot be the loser, as this will be a strike. Swung by Millwood, 2-2. And Cato gives a bit of a break here as Jones calls for time. 4 strikeouts for Beckham today, as this will be a drop third strike down the first base. Jones thought it. I'm not sure what Jones thought. He stopped running about 3/4 of the way. And that will be your first out. Millwood. That'll bring in Zach Brookman, of course. 1 out, bases empty. Top half of the 6th inning, 10-3 ball game. Rams down 7. Cato out of the windup. The right-hander will fire, and it's going to be a batted ball left side of the infield. That'll be almost a good stop by Melton. Sneaks through for a base hit for Zach Brookman. Ryan Campbell will stand in. He doubled his last time. He's 2 for 3. Here comes the first pitch to Campbell. This will be a ground ball off the mid of the third baseman. It'll be an error. Third error today, of course, for Civic. And that allows Campbell to get aboard. Puts 2 on now for the Rams. Second time that Campbell's reached on an error today. So 3, 7, 0, and an 8 for the Rams. Of course, 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors, 8 left aboard. Civic has 10 runs on 12 hits with 3 errors and 9 stranded. 2 on, 1 out for Mount Vernon. Top the 6, a 10-3 game. Down 7 runs. We'll get you a final scoreboard update. Of course, what we have in your Schmidt-Chevrolet post game. Pitch on the way. It's going to be popped up foul territory. Going to scoot back into fair. Underneath of the catcher, Howard has some trouble to stay fair. I don't know if it ever left fair territory. I forgot what the ruling is here. There were 2 Rams standing there, and somehow infield fly rule is in effect. I forgot about the runner on second. My apologies. So 2 on, 1 out. So gets the benefit there from it being in fair territory. So bad luck for Blake Jones, and now bring in Jake Pike, who takes the pitch low and inside for ball 1. Remains 2 on now with 2 out for the Rams. Pike the batter, the lefty. First lefty seen by Cato. Here comes the pitch on the way to Jake. It's outside, and that'll be a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Pike. Smith on deck for the Rams. Here comes the pitch on the way, and that is going to be inside. It gets away. Pike is going to get out of the way, and both runners advance. Not much of a play there, a chance for Corey Howard, the catcher, and it'll be second and third for your runners, and a 2-1 count for Jake Pike here. In the top of the 6th inning, Rams trailing 10-3. 1 out, or make that 2 outs. My apologies. With 2 aboard here for the Rams, lefty Pike in the box. Looking to try to extend the inning here for Mount Vernon in the top of the 6th. Need some runs. Swung on a miss. Off the plate, it'll be 2-2. So Pike will dig back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 aboard here for the Rams. Top of the 6th inning. Down 7 runs. Need to find some offense in a hurry if they want to win this one. But this will be high. It'll be a full count for Pike. Thomas Weber is going to be reinserted. He'll stand on deck. Full count here for Pike. Make or break time for the pitcher, Cato. Make or break for the batter, Pike. Out of the stretch will come the right-hander, Cato, with 2 on and 2 out. Pitch on the way. Golf shot, tapped foul, first base side. The inning will stay alive just a little bit longer. A little bit of bad luck for Blake Jones. There were runners on first and second, and infield fly rule was in effect. And the catcher dropped the fly ball. That was a start off in foul territory, but he was in position in fair territory. And as a result, instead of having 1 out, there's now 2 with 2 aboard. As Pike will stay alive, and cuts it foul over the third base dugout to extend the inning. We'll have your Schmidt-Chevrolet post-game show coming up after this one. We'll have a Rams player of the game. Also have some of your stats as well as time of game and all those details. Here we go. Pitch on the way. Pike going to rip it into right center field. That'll score a couple of runs. Pike is going to be on his horse. He will stay put at first base with a 2 RBI single, and the Rams cut it to 10-5. So good 2-out hitting by Pike. He has 4 runs batted in the day. 4 of the 5, and it's been a good day at the plate for Jake Pike. Good base running by Brookman and Campbell. And now Thomas Weber's reinserted with a runner on first and 2 out. On deck is Zach Giants, who's found his bat today. He's 2 for 3. The Rams trying to keep the inning going, courtesy of Community First Bank. Welcome back to Personal Banking, home of the one account. It's for checking and high-yield interest. More than likely means a new Ram pitcher. So I have a sneaking suspicion we'll meet that new pitcher in the spot intended for Aaron Morgan, the catcher, unless Tommy Weber is going to play elsewhere. 10-5 ball game. The Rams played a couple here in the 5th on a 2 RBI single by Pike, who again has batted in 4 of the 5 runs for the Rams. I believe 1 came on a wild pitch earlier. The first pitch to Weber is a strike, 0-1. 2 gone here in the top of the 6th inning. Rams down 5 runs. It's a 10-5 ball game. The Civic Memorial Eagles on top here from Bethalto. Runner on first is Pike. He's going. Curveball, swung on a miss. 0-2 to Weber. Weber himself was 1 for 1. He walked and singled and scored today. The spot in the order, of course, is 1 for 2. Another curveball. This time Weber takes advantage. It's into the right center field gap. On the run is Pike. Tim Holloway's going to go ahead and send him home. Weber, of course, will stroll into second base with an RBI double, and it's 10-6. So somehow the Rams' bats have found some life. Just hope it's not too little too late on the RBI double by Tommy Webbs. And that'll bring in Zach Giants. Of course, we told you he's found his bat today, hoping not to jinx him. But he is going to be called back just in case for Jackson Horton. Horton saw some time at DH yesterday. Hit the ball pretty hard. So Morgan will remain in the game. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Weber. All he had to do is be reinserted in the batting order here. So now Horton will take a swing for Zach Giants. 10-6 ball game. Another runner in scoring position off a second with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. First pitch on the way from Cato, and Horton's going to look it in for a ball. That bounced around in the dirt, 1-0. Morgan in the on-deck circle, reached on an error his last time up. Here with 2 outs at the top of the 6th, Rams down 4. Pitch on the way, Cato out of the stretch. Horton taps it foul down the first base line. It even sings up at 1-1. Just barely got a piece of it, front-footed it. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Rams have scored 3, looking for 4. Jackson Horton stands in with a 1-1 count and a runner on second. Cato the pitch, curveball. Don't know what more he had to do. It'll be 2-1. Missed up. Of course, Jackson Horton 6'2". That might have been a ball if you're 5'6", 5'7", 5'8". Probably should have been a strike there. 2-1, 2 gone, runner on second base. Cato out of the stretch. The right-hander will fire, and Horton puts it in play, but it's right to the shortstop, Melton. He'll pick it up, fire across the diamond in time, and that ends the Ram threat here in the 6th. But they scored 3. It's 10-6 Civic. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
Complete. That's the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois with a full sports medicine clinic, state-of-the-art MRI, a spine care team that focuses on pain management, arthroscopy specialists offering total joint replacement, hand surgery, and complete rehabilitation services. Doctors Chow, Houle, Ahn, Kowalski, Freehill, and Smith stand ready to serve you today with offices in Mount Vernon and Centralia and satellite offices in Benton and Nashville. Find out more online at orthocenter-si.com.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One Account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
Back to Mount Vernon Rams Baseball, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
And we welcome you back, WMIX, WMIXsports.com. So glad you could join us today for Mount Vernon Rams Baseball. Chris Hugo with you. Danny Zawinski, of course, is on assignment. Unable to make the trip today. Of course, your line for Dalton Beck, who's replaced by Sam Storman on the hill. Beck went 2/3 of an inning, had allowed 2 hits. Only allowed 1 run. It was earned with one walk and a pair of strikeouts. It'll be up to Sam Storman. Of course, Storman got the start in right field yesterday. He's a 5'10 senior. Dedicated himself to this Ram program and hoping it pays off here today in relief. See who else? Any changes for the Rams? Giants is still out there and right, so he's reinserted. Everybody else looks to be about the same. It'll be Jake Myers leading off, followed by Peter Buchanan, Connor Melton, barring any changes. Rams trailing 10-6. We head to the bottom of the sixth. Last chance for the Rams in the seventh will be Morgan, Hayes, and Millwood. 6, 7, and 8. Community First Bank of the Heartland is the official voice of the Rams and Lady Rams. 5 Jefferson County branches and responsive quality service for all of your accounts. Community First Bank would like to be the first to say, welcome back to Personal Banking, member FDIC. So Myers will stand in against the new Ram pitcher, Sam Storman. Making his first varsity appearance. His first pitch to the ball low to Myers. Knoll on deck here for Civic Memorial. Knoll came on as a defensive substitution a minute ago. 1-0 is going to be fouled straight back. It'll be 1 ball, 1 strike now to Jake Myers. Rams had a bit of a rally going there in the sixth. They got 3 across the plate, but kind of had the feel of too little, too late. Storming out of the lineup, fires. Good curveball there. More of a slider, and it's 1-2. Don't typically see those. A 1-2 pitch in round out of the windup. Breaking stuff again. Good stuff from Sam Storman. Strikes out his first batter face, and that'll bring up number 11, Ryan Knoll. So 1 gone here in the bottom half of the sixth. Again, last chance seventh. It'll be Morgan, Hayes, Millwood, Brookman, if anybody gets aboard there in the seventh inning. Storming a line and fire, pounds a fastball low in the dirt, 1-0. One ball, no strikes. Pitch on the way, and that just whizzes past Ryan Knoll's shoulder. Inside for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes to Knoll. Myers struck out looking. That was the first out of the inning. With the bases empty here in the bottom half of the sixth. Pitch and route, that one. Got a little bit underneath it down the left field line. On the run will be Brookman, who dropped it, and that's going to be confusing. The home plate umpire initially pointed foul ball and then pointed back into fair territory. As when Brookman initially grabbed the ball, he was in fair territory, so it should be a fair ball as he drops into foul territory. And that'll be an error. Rams first of the day. So that'll bring in Connor Melton with a runner on and 1 out. So now a high pop fly off the bat of Melton, first baseman. Pike will make the grab, and there's your second out. So Cato will make his first at bat of the afternoon, taking over for Brett Beckham, who went 5 strong innings, surrendering 6 hits, but allowing 3 runs. I believe only 1 of them earned, with 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. That'll bring in Cato with an RBI chance with the runner in scoring position. Ripped down the third base line. That'll be a fair home plate umpire. Looked like he waved it foul. That was inside the bag. Third base line. Should have been a fair ball. They say foul. That's part of why I'm shocked. As that was easy extra bases for Cato. It should have been the 11th run of the game for Civic. But as a result, we'll do it again. Yikes. So 0-1 the count. And a loud strike for Cato as the pitcher gets set, and Storman's going to see this one lifted to right field line foul. 0-2. So Civic has a gripe there. It was called a foul. It was well inside the third base bag in fair territory on the ground. Nevertheless, here we are, 0-2 with a runner on second and 2 outs. Curveball this time, inside out swing, foul down the first base line from the right-handed Cato. This comes almost immediately after we saw an at-bat where a fly ball was caught and dropped, caught in fair territory, dropped and foul, and it was waved foul and then called fair again. 0-2 come, and he'll reach out for it, goes after it in the dirt. Dropped by the catcher. Morgan will fire down to first in time, and that'll end the inning. A pair of strikeouts for Stormont, and a very, very loud strike. We head to the last chance seventh for the Rams, trailing 10-6. This is Mount Vernon Baseball from WMIX Sports.
Complete. That's the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois with a full sports medicine clinic, state-of-the-art MRI, a spine care team that focuses on pain management, arthroscopy specialists offering total joint replacement, hand surgery, and complete rehabilitation services. Doctors Chow, Hool, Ahn, Kowalski, Freehill, and Smith stand ready to serve you today with offices in Mount Vernon and Centralia and satellite offices in Benton and Nashville. Find out more online at orthocenter-si.com.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to personal banking. Member FDIC.
Back to Mount Vernon Rams Baseball, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
And we welcome you back, WMIX, WMIXsports.com, as we head to the last chance seventh for the Rams. It'll be up to Aaron Morgan, maybe, as I see Don Fulkerson talking with the home plate umpire. There's some changes coming to the Ram lineup here. 10-6 to score. Civic Memorial leads by 4 runs, and this is the last chance for the Rams. Either way, in the order, it'll be 6, 7, and 8 coming up here for the orange and black. Although black primarily the predominant color in the color scheme, so more like black and orange. Figured there'd be some changes in the Mount Vernon lineup. Of course, a new pitcher here will be Jensen Helmkamp for Civic. Helmkamp will take the mound, trying to shut it down for Civic. Myers will move up to the third base for the Eagles. And we'll see the same Ram batting order with Aaron Morgan, Derek Hayes, and Reed Millwood. Let's hope that makes something happen here in the inning. Hoping for a little bit of magic to force the bottom half of the seventh. 10-6, 6 runs, 10 hits, 1 error, 9 left aboard for the Rams. Here comes the first pitch from Helmkamp, and it'll miss low and away for ball 1. Rams Athletics on the radio is presented by Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking, member FDIC, as this will be an inside strike to Morgan. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody on, nobody out as Aaron gets it started. Here in the top of the 7th in a 10-6 ball game. Helmkamp winds and fires. Swung and a miss. Powers a fastball past Morgan. It's 1-2. Winding and firing again is the right-hander Helmkamp, and the dirt evens the count up for Aaron Morgan. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Derek Hayes awaits in the on-deck circle. Helmkamp, what's he going to come with this time? Breaking pitch. That'll lock the knees of Morgan. Check the swing, so it'll be a backwards strikeout, a backwards K, I should say. Struck out looking, and that'll be the first out. The Rams down to their final 2 outs. It'll be Derek Hayes with nobody on, 1 out. He's 0 for 3 today. Had a hard hit ball in the center his last time up. Worked the count full as back in the 4th when he struck out looking. Now checks the swing foul. It'll be 0-1. As it stands right now, the Rams get Thomas Weber off of the hook. Beckham still stands to be the winner. Of course, barehanded on the pickup by Knoll in the outfield. On the base hit by Hayes. Not bad. Off the hop, he caught in his bare hand. Well, Cam stands in. Millwood, of course, digs his feet in the batter's box with the runner on and one out. Takes it low. It'll be 1-0 for Reed Millwood. See what the Rams are able to do here. Pitch in route, and this will be a strike call for 1-1. Beckham still stands to be the winner, of course, for Civic Memorial. He left the game 10-3. Now here comes a pitch on the way, and that is going to miss inside for 2-1 to Reed Millwood. It's about belt high. Millwood, of course, is 1 for 3 today. Had a double back in the fourth and was stranded. Helmkamp looks in out of the stretch. Runner on first base, one out, top of the seventh, 10-6. The Rams down 4 runs. Tying run hasn't even thought about coming on deck yet as Millwood fouls one off. 2-2. Always bank on your hometown team. Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking. The official voice of Rams Athletics here on WMIX as Helmkamp gets set out of the stretch. The right-hander looking to fire. 2-2 pitch on the way. Batted right back to the mound. Helmkamp off of the mound. Fires over to first base. Going to be dropped by the first baseman, and that will be an error. Fourth error on the afternoon for Civic Memorial. And that'll put 2 aboard here for the Rams, hoping to maybe tie this one up or take the lead here in the top of the last chance 7th as in will stand Zach Brookman. Brookman singled and scored his last time. He walked and scored back in the third. He's 1 for 2 today. Now has runners on first and second, 1 out. Calls time, going to step out of the box. Ryan Campbell takes his place in the on-deck circle. He's reached twice on errors. He scored twice. Has a single and a double. That's Ryan Campbell. Brookman, the right-handed batter against the right-handed pitcher. Ground ball back to the pitcher. He's going to try for 2 to the shortstop for 1, to first for the other. And they're going to go ahead and punch him out. The old dinner plate double play. And that's going to do it for the Rams. We bring you your Schmitz Relay postgame show next. This is Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. By now you have heard about our new One Checking product. The new One Account is a high-interest earning, free checking account designed for everyone. Unlike other banks that pay interest on higher balance, this account pays interest on all balances. From high schoolers to Warren Buffett, One will work for you. You can talk to one of us at 244-3000 and learn about the details. One, exclusively at Community First Bank. You will be one happy customer. Member FDIC.
This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. Imagine this. You're driving down the road. It's dark as can be outside. Thank goodness you just had that left headlight bulb replaced. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see a thing. Now, close your eyes. Okay, don't close your eyes. You're supposed to be driving. Imagine noticing a slight twinkle off to the left, just above the ditch. What is that, you think to yourself? All of a sudden, whap! You've just encountered your first deer hit. The left side of your vehicle is beat up pretty bad. The next thing I want you to imagine is very simple. Picking up your phone and dialing 1-888-LANDERS to set up your repair. Deer claims are common, and usually a very simple process, which fall under comprehensive coverage. This is Chase Landers, asking you to allow Landers to be your collision repair shop of choice. Whether it be a deer hit, fender bender, or the regular, uh-oh, sorry mom, Landers is here for you whenever you need us. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. 1-888-LANDERS, that's 1-888-LANDERS.
How can we keep the people we love safe and secure in their own home? Let the Medicine Shop's home medical equipment team help you with all your mobility and specialty product needs. They provide mobility products like motorized scooters, wheelchairs, and home stair lifts. The Medicine Shop's expertly trained staff can also provide car and van lift installations, and they offer a full service repair facility for medical equipment, whether you purchased it from them or somewhere else. Here's pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black.
We service a 60-mile radius area, so a pretty wide area. We service orders from several area hospitals, and we have the staff in place that really sets us apart. We have 3 respiratory therapists and 2 seating specialists to help with seating on wheelchair and power chair needs. And we just feel that we have the staff and the warehousing and the facilities in place to really set us apart from any of our competitors in the area.
The Medicine Shop Pharmacy, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
More Americans are on the move today than ever before. One of the most popular modes of transportation is the motorcycle. Motorcycles take us to our jobs, school, to the beach, and all around the country. If you're a bike rider, your Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crownview in Mount Vernon, wants to make sure you have the best insurance protection while you're riding. Ask about the money-saving auto cycle discount and the experienced driver discount, too. Call Page Insurance at 242-7000 today about motorcycle insurance from Pekin Insurance.
This is Mount Vernon Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports. The Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show starts now.
And we welcome you back to Civic Memorial. Actually, the Bethalto Sports Complex, where the Eagles defeat the Rams 10-6. We'll have your scoring and stats in just a moment, of course, on your Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show. Rams fall 10-6. We'll have scoring and stats coming up, as well as your Rams player of the game. I'm Chris Hugo. We'll take a break. This is your Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show from WMIX Sports.
If you've been trying to buy a car with a challenging credit history, you've discovered that it can be discouraging. But there is good news. I mean really good news. Not all buy here, pay here dealerships are the same. Second Chance Auto really is different. For 34 years, Second Chance Auto has guaranteed to give you the best value for every dollar you spend. Listen, did you know that at some dealerships, if you buy an $8,000 vehicle with minimal down, it could end up costing you $2,000 more? At Second Chance Auto, they'll explain how you can save more on the total cost of your vehicle. No surprises, just honest deals, bank rate financing for all, and a truly dependable vehicle with the best value for your hard-earned dollar. This tax season, use your refund where it will go the farthest. Let Second Chance Auto earn your business and your trust. You won't be disappointed. Second Chance Auto, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Call today, 244-4582.
Dig in with full contact coal miner training at Red Lake College. Learn in our new 20,000 square feet coal mine training center. Use real equipment like continuous miners and power sitters, and check out the new mine rescue and fire safety training tunnel. Associate degree and occupational certificates available.
We're full contact, hands-on coal mining. Real equipment, real live, all the time.
What are you waiting for? Call 618-437-5321 and get started.
This is Mount Vernon Rams Baseball, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
And we welcome you back to the Bethalto Sports Complex. We wrap your Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show. The Rams fall to Civic Memorial 10-6. They dropped to 1-2. 6 runs, 11 hits, 1 error, 9 left on base for the Rams. 10 runs, 12 hits, 4 errors, 9 left on base for Civic Memorial. Brett Beckham picks up the win. Braden Smith takes the loss for the Rams. This game was completed in 2 hours and 16 minutes. Your player of the game will be Jake Pike. Pike went 2 for 4 today with 4 runs batted in. A great effort by the Rams senior first baseman. That is going to do it for us here from Bethalto. 10-6 your final. I'm Chris Hugo. Danny Zerwinski will be back with us on Saturday for the Saturday Sports Show, 8:08 until 10 o'clock. For Avery Barton, Quentin Lloyd back at Mount Vernon Studio. Thank you for accessing our broadcast tonight. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. So long from Madison County.
Thank you for listening to Mount Vernon Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports. Mount Vernon Rams Baseball from WMIX Sports is sponsored by the official voice of Rams Athletics, Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Rams Baseball is also sponsored in part by the Medicine Shop of Mount Vernon, Ford Square and King City Chrysler. You can count on us. Red Lake College. Save thousands on your college education. Log on to rlc.edu. State Farm Insurance Agent Tony Wilt. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Second Chance Auto on Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a hospital. Raising the bar. Winning Edge. Schmidt Ford of Salem, and also by the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois, Landers Collision Centers of Mount Vernon and Salem, Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon, All Stars and Stitches. Central Christian Church, and People's National Bank. Stay in the game on Twitter. Follow us at WMIX Sports or log on to WMIXSports.com. Now back to America's best music on the legendary WMIX.